hopefully this is royalty free placeholder music, because I know this is fucking odds are placeholder music. It's Valentine's Day. And what better way to celebrate Valentine's Day than by playing, well, visual novels? Why not play visual novels? Anyways, this is demo 2 of a game known as, I'm gonna turn the volume down. Looking at my mixer, like, oh no. But yeah, this is demo 2 of a little game called Monster Girl Gamu. It is made by someone who may or may not be into Fujoshi shit, but that's irrelevant. Also, if Twitch bans me for doing this, then they are racist. For this game is made by a black woman, and therefore this should be a-okay. Anyways, no voice acting though, so I have to voice stuff, which is gonna suck. It was a dark and stormy. No, that's too cliched. You there? Do you have a moment? I'd like to tell you a story. It's about a guy named help me out here, would ya? What was his name? Now, I know the character's name, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna see what happens if... Nah, I can't do that one either. Somebody will not then... Let's just call him by my name for now. Xaver, that's it. Thank you. What? Your name is Xaver? That can't be right. I suppose you already know this one by heart. I don't know. It already shows me because I did a little test earlier. And you damn right I'm gonna tell it to you. I didn't fly all the way up here just because of some rip in the timeline. At least you can do is be polite. I'm disoriented here. Screw it, I don't need your pity, I'm moving on. This is the story of a boy. An incredibly rude boy named Xaver. Wait, what? Like, wait just a minute, woman. Wow, it's true. Oh boy, there's gonna be a lot of talking. Can you just let me tell the story first? That's the rule now. No more quips from you until the story's done, got it? Where were we? Most stories are unlikely heroes, knights, or bland guys who manage to fall into a harem of overly affectionate girls. However, this particular tale concerns a rude boy by the name of Xaver. Xaver wasn't always a waste of space, mind you. When he was younger, he was a model kid. He always listened to his parents and followed the rules. But when the clock struck midnight on his 13th birthday, he transformed into a problem child. People mean he makes fools of us all that way. He wouldn't put his toilet seat down. He corrected spelling mistakes in library books. He sassed his teachers. Worst of all, he insulted other people's taste in fictional women. Well, yeah. Fucking... I'm just going to go with the stuff that I've seen. Sounds pretty cool. You would say that, you dumbass. The kid is you. And for the record, fixing mistakes in library book is not cool. Anything, you should probably written a letter to the publishing company. Fixing a mistake in one book doesn't fix it all in the other books. It's graffiti and it's wrong. Now look what you've done. You made me lose my place. Where were we? The trouble only increased as he got older. Sassing his teachers turned into fighting them. Stolen toys became stolen cars and stolen girlfriends. The kid went through schools like guy goes through tissue paper. Well, I guess so. Let me turn this down on my end. While it made him popular enough with his peers, his parents were at a loss. No school near them would ever entertain the idea of letting him join, and without a proper education, he had no chance of a career. Not to mention finding a nice girl to settle down with. They wanted grandchildren as much as anyone, but not at the cost of him marrying some monster woman. After a year or two of searching, they finally located a school willing to take him off his hands. Unfortunately, it was in the city of... oh no. Undesirable races. What? And while he thought it was weird that his mom pointed it out... yeah, that's fucked up. She didn't say... it was weird that she pointed it out, right? I guess it makes sense. I guess it makes sense. People are always looking for the smallest differences instead of paying attention. Hey everybody, welcome. We're gonna be doing this. Welcome, Monster Girl Gamu. Get prepared for weird monster girls. It's very how common they come, but you never expected it from your mom. Your dad, sure, but not her. But we're getting sidetracked again. He wasn't going to let that keep him from terrorizing a new group of teachers. No, I didn't see it. I saw that you went live with Redare, but like by the time I even saw it, you were playing Zelda, so... thank you for the 100 bits, Brick Muppet. How bad could it possibly be? Maybe you can get the chance of banging some foreign chicks. So 2 days ago, he packed up his things to get on the first bus headed straight for that minority town. Legends will surely tell of what he accomplished there. Also, this is A-OK. Everything that's written here is A-OK. The person who wrote this is a black woman. So, it's all kosher. No, there's no centaurs. The bus ride stopped abruptly around noon, leaving Xavier stranded in a shop-filled alleyway. If he were paying attention to anything other than his phone, he might have noticed something was amiss. And if Xavier was genre savvy, he would have brought a map instead of wandering around. But he wasn't, and he didn't. He did, however, notice that the cute redhead standing there alone. He had a thing for redheads ever since 2nd grade when he ate his first red crayon. Wait, no. No. No, it's the redhead with the rack from 2nd grade. Sure. I mean, granted, I do have things for redheads, but anyways, might have been that redhead within 6th grade who did some unseemly things. Things which I, frankly, don't have the time to go over. He figured he had to get directions. It should at least be from a cute girl. So he made his way over to her and... let's see. Like, grab her arms, crows like that shit, took her hands in my hands. That's not weird, right? Well, I guess hand-holding is shit. Hand-holding. Well, hand-holding. Grabbed her oddly cold hands and pulled. That was the standard protocol in 2nd grade, and Xavier's flirting style hasn't changed much. If Xavier was genre savvy, he would have asked his parents to elaborate about their race remark. Maybe just then, he would have prepared him for the shock of skeleton arms popping right out of her sleeves. What kind of sick person carries around fake arms? They felt real enough, and they had to be props. The only option was that she was some kind of skeleton girl. Don't ask. We'll go over why she has tits soon. Impossible, inconceivable, implausible. Skeleton girls were make-believe like Santa or fairies. Hey, wait a minute. Yes, it's the girl from the image I used to hide chat in Final Fantasy XIV. Torn between running and fighting her head on, Xavier gripped the she skeleton's arms, unsure of whether to use them as a club or toss them. As he waited for the sweet embrace of death, it turned to him and spoke, in a voice befitting a young woman and not at all what I imagined a bone broad to sound like. Please to be returning my arms now. It was more pleading than annoyed, as if she expected him to run off with her arms at any moment. There was also a slight Brooklyn accent, which I cannot do because I'm very bad with accents. Oh no, how dare— yeah, I know, shush, it's fine. He would have laughed as virtually any other situation. Wanting to keep his distance, Xavier dropped the arms and slowly kicked them over. Would the undead dame be appeased? If he hadn't seen it with his own 2 eyes, he would have believed living skeletons were possible. Skeletons, yes, skeletons. How the hell is he putting her arms— nice rack. Tits. Nice rack. Quiet you. Fantasies of putting his dick between skeletons immediately ended when he remembered he was sexualizing fucking a skeleton. He was depraved, but not quite that depraved. Right? Right? Instead of running for his life, he stood there wondering how sex with a skeleton would work. Perhaps it was a defense mechanism and keep him sane in spite of the sight in front of him. What's with this ridiculous getup? Penny person to name. Not being a skeleton is my game. As you can see, I am completely human like yourself, so there's no need to be alarmed. Is that not it? Oh, is it because I didn't insult your hair, right? That hairstyle of yours is really cool. Seriously, it's great. I should mention that the main character has a pompadour. I want to die. No, it's fine. Well, Hoonie Pop 2 I can't stream. They won't allow me to stream that. So, of course, I'm gonna do this. Sorry, Josuke. A real-life Josuke. I knew this series had to be based on true story. No one can make up something that bizarre. And he never ages, you know, so that means the Stone Master is real. How come you haven't endured me back to unlife yet? I guess they wouldn't be able to see if you did, huh? Or it could be that you were an unnamed pompadour owner that saved little Josuke. Fucking, can we just start over? Fuck it. Xavier, that's a great name. Like something straight out of an eroge. Great hair, great name. I'm really starting to feel out of place here. But I won't let that keep me from making a good first impression. The name Skelly something something. My hobbies include basement dwelling, watching terrible cinema, and praising it ironically. Oh, and shitposting on Chan sites. This is the meme skeleton. Now we have skeleton music. Thinking about it, this is the first time I've seen it outside in less... thinking about it, this is the first time it's been outside in the last 3 years. I guess you can call it debut if you wanted. Chan sites, I'm pretty sure that's just image boards. I see you falling for my clever ruse, my attempt to frustrate you. Are you frustrated? Have I wrinkled your jams? A lot of people think shitposting something that can be, but that's not true. Just like scoping, there's a bit of shitposting. It can be said out of the face, but I might be talking to confusing by the never-ending string of words emerging from her mouth. Xavier decided to take action. I need to desperately look for something. Xavier searched through his bag for something to explain his situation. A few phone numbers, an open bag of chips, a box of condoms. It was beginning to look like he'd have to tell her himself. Well, there was that letter, Mon Maiden's Academy. Xavier couldn't imagine why he needed it, so he gave it to the undead dame. Maybe it was enough to keep him from asking follow-up questions. Mr. Xavier's going to Mon Maiden Academy, huh? That place real ritzy, but they only take bottom-tier scum. So it's kind of like being tricked into eating a super hot girl out on her period. But hey, at least you won't be alone. Old Skelety's going there too. Probably should have said that before telling you it was for bottom tier scum. Or at least before the period remark. Well, I'm not gonna let that boner make me look like a fool. So, just show me your boner, I'll put my name on it. I mean, show me your card, and I'll put my name on it. Keep your boner in your pants. Like, well... V-card, don't have it. I mean, I totally don't have my V-card. You lost yours already? Boys are really promiscuous. But no, I didn't mean that kind of card. Your ID, your protection card. Are you really walking around without one? Don't you know how dangerous that is? You fucking... here's my driver's license. Oh, this is a really good photo of you. You look super cute here. I'm not saying that you're ugly outside of the photo. You look cute here too. But this isn't a protection ID. You really need one of those. Listen here, I still got 20, so how about I do you a favor and help you get one? It'll only take a moment or a few hours. Don't remember which. But you're not doing anything, right? Not taking no for an answer. Skelly put Xavier to a local bookstore. First by his pants, then by his shirt, and finally by his belt. It was almost as if she was afraid to hold his hand. She clearly didn't understand that he wasn't as psyched about the situation as she was. The store was largely empty. Xavier couldn't tell if it was related to the time or the fact that there was 3 other bookstores on the street. The tiny group was split between humans and non-humans. 2 normal human couples and 1 clerk. It wasn't for the rest, you assumed that it was a struggling but normal bookstore. But the rest, a half-horse woman browsing the self-help section, a demon man who was clearly watching his 2 unruly children, and a woman made of rain clouds. How does that work? Xavier tried his hardest not to stare. A few minutes later, she returned, munching on a half of a muffin. Hey, isn't this one of those weather women? Tempestas, I think that's what they called. I can't remember the last time I saw one in person. I heard that if you throw a coin in the water and make a wish, it will come true. Oh, the clerk said your card would be ready in a few minutes, just so you know. Oh, we'll get to the cloud woman in maybe 30 minutes. Okay. Fucking look for a coin. Xavier checked his pockets for coins, but only found a button. Well, buttons are kind of like coins, right? Xavier was a star player in his Little League baseball team, so landing a button inside that girl would be no problem at all. But he had readied his arm for a pitch. A bony hand wrapped itself around his wrist. But we won't be fucking one at any point in time. I mean, the game has no. I can't show those scenes. Buttons on for coins. If you really wanted coin, you hand it out or what. So before Xavier got out of the vicinity, she began reaching into her corpse cleavage. Suddenly, a roll of quarters emerged from her skirt like a handkerchief in a magic trick. A roll of quarters, a piggy bank, a titty piggy bank, a titty bank. Dun 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 dun. A roll of quarters, friends. A roll of quarters for someone make a wish. $5 quarters, you can make it a $5 wish. Or $5 worth of wishes. I'm going impatient, so please don't throw the coins out. At the behest of the corpse companion, Xavier removed the coins from the cardboard container, which were right around the time he noticed that they were chocolate. Chocolate coins. Not wanting to make this weirder than it already was, he shrugged and threw them at the rain cloud girl. Surprisingly, despite years of slacking, Xavier managed to land every single one of these coins inside the rain girl's water slime body. I honestly have no idea how these people work. Holy fuck, you actually did it. You're so cool. Super cool. Humans are cool. Xavier's the greatest cool. Oh no, I'm getting my ego's getting wanked by a skeleton girl. That's odd. It looks like she's coming over here. Probably to congratulate you on your throwing skills. What is that? An umbrella? Doesn't she know it's bad luck to open those indoors? Oh, it's a baseball bat. Huh. Run outside, this isn't drill, run! Despite tripping over themselves and knocking a few books displays, Skelly and Xavier made it outside, unharmed. We'll get to them. We'll eventually find out what a cloud rainbow person looks like. Holy shit, that was a close one, right? We almost got our heads bashed in, man. Obviously, I'm fine, but I'm amazed like that. You'd be dead, though. Completely dead. But even if we did get murdered, it would have been worth it to see that super cool throw. I asked you what you wished for, but then it would never come true. Those are the rules. What's my fucking idea? No worries. Paisan? I'll just run back in there and get it for you. Thinking about it, did I ever explain that to you? Well, no worries yet again. I can do it now. A lot of people here see you guys as, well, food. And the ones that don't tend to use you sexually. As in, you can imagine that kind of thing that would definitely lead to another war left unchecked. That's where protection IDs come in. If an unmarried human gets registered, no one's allowed to touch him or her. He or she becomes a legal citizen and is granted most of the rights we have here. Plus, there's a bunch of neat incentives if staying alive isn't enough for you. So that's super important that you get an ID and learn your number. Fucking what? Most of the rights? Wait, what? Well, you're still second-class citizens. Oh no. No, I'm completely legal. I just need this ID. It wouldn't be fair to everyone else if we treated you normally, but it's not exactly fair to you that we don't. Huh? Anyways, as soon as you become involved with one of us, you get bumped up to full status. Besides, you're not missing much, just things like normal facts do. Oh no. Wait, I shouldn't be saying that on Twitch. Oh well, like owning a car or getting a full-time job. You'll just be fine without all of that. Twitch is fine. I was reading that. It's okay. You can't say that unless you plan on owning a house, I guess. Now when you say involved, involved like dating or married, doing the do and kissing and making sandwiches and fighting and hand holding. Hard cold hand on hand action. Maybe we can even look into each other's eyes while we do it. My deviancy really knows no bounds. I should excuse myself. Clearing her throat once more, she left for the bookstore. I need to remind everybody that this is written by a black woman. I will continue to do that. Xavier considered going after her, but settled leaning against the building like a super cool guy. But she returned less than half an hour later with a square no bigger than a credit card and a bag of muffins. Xavier considered asking why the skeleton would need muffins, but realized that would only lead to another bizarre discussion. Hey, I already bought muffin. I ate half of the bag already, but it's still good. Skeleton also brought your card. She didn't forget. That temper was still there. I really wanted to say hi, or at very least, throw another coin in her. Oh, here, your very own protection ID. According to what the ID says, Xavier's number is 1785. We need to remember that. Having played this before, I need to remember that. Okay. I typed it somewhere else so I can remember. Try not to forget it, alright? For the record, Skelly's number is 80085. Because it looks like boobs. I had no idea what your last name was, but it turns out you got a record, which is super cool, by the way. So the clerk was able to get it from that. Lucky you, right? Oh, and it comes with a manual. You should go over that later. It's got important stuff like the curfew. I guess this is goodbye for now. But it was really cool meeting you. Maybe we'll get lucky and end up in the same classes. Cool. She was right. It was cool. She was cool. Her spurging has distracted him long enough for him to forget that he was talking to a real live skeleton. He dreamed the day he had his own undead army. He even doodled it in his notebooks. And while she wasn't exactly an army, he was still living out his adolescent wet dream. The numbers will have meaning at a later date because I have played this demo before. I never finished it. It finally dawned on Xavier there was an entire world outside of his own one mall town, a world filled of monsters and magical people. It was the start of an adventure. He had an oddly attractive skeleton woman willing to guide him the entire way. So for the first time since the parents shipped him off to this bizarre town, Xavier smiled. He smiled and extended his fist toward her. What's this? You're not looking for a fight, are you? I don't have a bone to pick with you. Oh, I barely know how to punch. There's no sport in fighting me. Oh, I know what this is. I saw this in a movie once. Are you saying that I'm going to do it? Wait. I should take off my hair clip first so it doesn't explode. Here I go. Yeah. It's happening. We're doing it. The fabled bro hand gesture. The bro fisting. No one's ever initiated me into the bro club before. Skelly's gonna write this day down in a good day journal. I can't believe we did it. Xavier's super cool. Aw, fuck, look how late it is. We're really gonna have to get you indoors before curfew. Wait, I got an idea. Just follow me. I solved this problem. Yeah, fist bump. This was her plan. We're gonna go to the Bonezo Love Hotel. A love hotel. Xavier tried his best to convince her that was a bad idea, but she insisted. It's fine, Dajobu, Dajobu. Skelly's always got a room open here. Oh, Scully. Scully's my twin brother. Did I mention that already? Well, here he is. Wait here. So he did his absolute best to look cool leaning against the wall outside while waiting for her. It was not hard not to stand at the couples entering the place. A bird woman and a human male, a cat boy and a human female, some sort of octopus thing and a human couple. It was strange, and he was more than happy when she came back, dragged him into their room. I gotta get... Well, at least the interior is classy. It's not as if he was a stranger to these kinds of places, but his previous experience did nothing to make him feel less unnerved about the bed situation. Pretty good, right? I told you I'd fix it. We can lay low here until tomorrow. Then you can take the bus to school. I couldn't do anything about sleeping arrangement, however. But don't worry, I'm far too tired to ravage your sleeping body. Or am I? No, too tired. So if you don't have any questions, I'm gonna hit the hay. As hot content, it does, but I can't show the hot content because Twitch. Yes, I have a few. I figured you'd say something like that, but no problem at all, because I'm going to do you a favor. Skelly's super helpful like that, and you should be thankful. So if there's no further interruptions, it's time for Skelly's pulse stopping, skin melting, brain exploding, I really like to be sleeping now, quiz. Your hair says yes, but your face says you have no idea what I'm talking about. So I'm going to let you ask me 4 questions before I go to sleep. Is that clearer? From her? She was capable of giving out information that wasn't peppered in bizarre internet lingo. Then again, she had been helpful so far. Damn. Well, I mean, okay, first of all, how does it work with skeletons? Can it be Xavier is interested in skeleton lore? Well, it allows those skelly to educate you. Of all the undead corpses and monsters, skeletons are definitely the smartest. If you don't count liches, vampires, and whites. And Dullahans, but they're fairies or something, right? Okay, not the smartest, but really high up there. Ghouls are violent thugs. They only care about ripping people to shreds. Mummies are single-minded. They don't care about anything but whatever they're obsessing over that week. Zombies are the worst. Loud, selfish thugs that live for only pleasure and flesh-eating. Terrible, terrible people. Skeletons? I keep saying skeletons like I'm like Jack Skeleton. Skeletons are clever. Skeletons are doctors and scholars. Plato was best friends with a skeleton. No, it's not. Though the creator has said that when the game ever comes out, it will be on Steam. In fact, after this, I will probably link the link to the demo too. Plus, the god of death was a skeleton. And skeletons are rare too. Reviving someone with a specific spell is the only way to become a skeleton. That and getting drafted into the skeleton war. But we are not disgustingly common as zombies are, and that's what's important. Can I play it on the phone? I don't know. It requires Renpy, so I'm not sure. I got some books. I can lend you a few if you want. Okay, what? Skeleton? What's the skeleton? Xavier's interest in skeleton lore seemingly has no end. It's really great, really. Every 100 years or so, the god of death reanimates a tons of human skeletons and forces them to fight. Brother against brother, son against father, mother against daughter, friend against friend. It lasts 2 months, and skeleton land standing gets another chance at life. Occasionally, things go off the rails and humans get involved. That can be kind of a mess. Well, yeah, we'll talk about the skeletons in a minute. I'm pretty sure we can get the explanation of skeletons soon. But aside from that, it's really great. It's super high school level great. Father said he'd get me and Scully front row tickets next time. Xavier should join us. It'll be fun. She does understand you'll be dead by then, right? Frankly, you're lucky you even got 10 more years in you. That said, Xavier ignored that comment and asked for another question. We need to ask. Let's talk about Dullahan. Did you read The Legend of Sleepy Hollow? They're like that, headless horseman types. Although I can't remember the last time I saw one actually riding a horse. Scully says that most of them are blood knights, whatever that means. I think I read somewhere that all are afraid of gold for some reason. Oh, and if I heard it on Kazan that the head and body have 2 completely different personalities. Imagine how hilarious that must be. A head that can't walk and a body that can't talk, fighting for supremacy. It'd be like your own personal cage match 24/7. Cage match? How silly. No one would ever describe it like that. Oh, I also heard that if they lose their head and body has a different personality, the body takes over. Sometimes they even create a makeshift head so they don't stand out. I wonder if what happens to the head in that situation. I guess that's all I really know about them. Huh. Adult has started my favorite magical girl show. We should watch it later. I brought a tape with me, so don't try and weasel out of it. Oh shit, look how late it is. I owe you a question, right? Wait, don't go sleep yet. I got something. I brought a tape. Watch it with me. Xavier expected it to be weird fetish porn of some sort, but much to his surprise, it was a magical girls show. The plot involved an ordinary girl turned into a magical defender. A magical wand had the ability to change into an axe. Many limbs were lost as the show went on. In addition to a wand axe, she carried around a few other items, like the Love Lantern, which can illuminate the way for lost souls and unlock any door or chest, or the magical Maiden Mirror, which allowed her to enter the battlefields of various monsters of the week. And the cutie card container, which, as he could tell, every monster defeated gave up a card, and the cards were all stored in there. Her main power, however, involved her removing her head and changing it into various things. He didn't understand it at all. The main villain was King Midas, helping turning everyone to gold. That was confusing as well. Aside from those quirks, it was basically a by-the-numbers magical girl show. The worn-down quality of the tape and ability to recite every single line suggested that wasn't her first time watching. I think it is. I think that's the reference. Despite this, she never took her eyes off the screen, not even to sing the theme song or reenact the main character's signature catchphrase. I am the embodiment of love and hope. Justice flowed through my veins. Return from whence you came, vengeful spirit. Lucky love link. A little wordy, but it had a charm. Her enthusiasm, made it hard for him to be bored, and found himself enjoying it by episode 5, which made episode 12 all the more painful. The hero, lovely Ladette Lane, had just learned her mascot mentor had engineered the events of the entire show. There was no King Midas. The vengeful spirits, other magical girls. Now they were no longer existed, and there was nothing protecting their planets. When Lane trapped in space and no other magical girls left, no one could stop the mascot mentor from devouring several worlds. And as it had done many times before, just when things seemed hopeless, it ended. No credits, no Deus Ex Machina, no love saves the day conclusions, just 5 minutes of static and the sound of tape rewinding. An ending she was all too happy to explain. Huh? No, that's it. There's 4 crossover OVAs with other magical girl shows that take before the 10th episode, but I never been able to get my hands on any of them. A 13th episode was planned, but nothing ever came of it. For some reason, the studio went out of business before they could even finish the series. A few other studios tried to pick it up on account of being a smash hit and all, but none of them could have located Lane's actress. I wonder what she's doing now. I'm sorry, I'm talking your ear off here. We should go to sleep. After making a burial sorts on the bed using spare pillows, so I don't touch your dick while you're catching Z's. She quietly fell asleep, leaving Xavier with more enough time to skim through that manual. Let's see, there's curfew. Did she mention that before? All humans expected to be inside after 9 for the first 3 months, no exceptions. Made a mental note. There was a tiny smartphone included. Apparently, you can use it to call specific people if you knew their ID numbers. That seemed handy enough. Xavier retracted his mental note and placed his phone in his pocket. And something about a job. It was really late, so it came as a surprise to no one that Xavier fell asleep instead of reading the book. And then, yeah, Gamu. What? Yeah, dream sequences really aren't my strong suit. I'm starting to think you don't have a strong suit. Shut up. Xavier had very little imagination, so it's no wonder his dreams always looked like shit. It was definitely no fault of the storyteller. She couldn't help that she was stuck writing a story for a moron. She was just doing her job. No one could blame her for that. Lady. Right, your dream. Xavier didn't explain when analyzing dreams. He always thought it was fruity women stuff, but he had to admit there was something off about this one. And the feeling didn't exactly go away when she appeared. Hello, are you a big guy? In comparison to you, yeah, probably. Yes, good meme, great meme. Meme skeleton is pleased. Am I kawaii ugu? No, you're kind of spooky. Good meme, great meme. Skeletons are indeed spooky, too spooky. Are truly our master of meme. Meme skeleton, look forward to meet again, but you should now you should wake up. Hey, you didn't die on me, did you? Wake up already. Dream sequence. There you go. This is okay, because you don't see now you can explain tits. You're up. Glad you decided to join the land of the living again. Sorry, couldn't resist. Well, that solves the mystery of the bone breast, doesn't it? See, it's kind of like a weird skin thing. And there's her ass. That is to say, Xavier woke to the sight of Skelly dressing herself and no more than 2 steps away from him. Wasn't a sight he expected to see soon, but he wasn't one to complain. You slept with your hand down your pants. Do you guys normally do that, or is that a you thing? Not that I was watching you asleep, that would be weird. And I didn't look in your dick, I promise. Scully's coming to pick me up in a few. I'd like to offer you a ride, but you know, messy vans and all. But there was a bus stop right across the street that'll take you directly to school. I've got no problem walking you there. Oh, and make sure you catch up with me as soon as you arrive at school. Yeah? Sure, no, thing, numbskull. Even when saying goodbye, Xavier's cool, really cool, super cool. Skelly's cooler. Skelly will get cooler to impress you. She will. Shit, we're gonna be late. Come on. We gotta move those bones. Plus, we need to get introduced to the second girl character soon. And just like last time, she made not to hold his hand, dragging him by his shirt instead. It didn't take long for the messy van, presumably driven by a twin brother, to show up, so they didn't have time to walk. It was a really messy van. Scantily dressed anime women painting on the side, trash bags on the windows. He can understand why she wasn't interested in giving him a ride. She waved goodbye before they left, and that was that, leaving Xavier with his very few thoughts until a bus finally arrived. Surely that would be the end of his misadventures. Act 1's at the end. Whoops, I forgot to... Where's the log? What was this called again? Oh, it doesn't show. I'm stupid. Well, actually, I should also save. Xavier wasn't really a fan of this bus. Hey! Let's look at the back. There's a cat that you've probably seen on Twitter before, and there's a very good explanation as to why they're in this game. And don't let this happen to you. Get protection I did today. Oh no. Oh no. They're getting... That's terrible. Xavier really wasn't a fan of the bus. Sharing transportation with a herd of unkempt fish-smelling people was the last thing he wanted to travel. He would gladly walk to school had he bothered to ask for directions, but he didn't, so here he was, standing in the middle of a bus, trying to figure out where to sit. A group of cloaked men mumbled in some strange language for taking up the back seats, so no chance of sitting there. He scanned the bus a few more times before noting something of interest. Not a seat that would require him to stay focused. But you can only get tangled by Lamia if you want it. A girl. Judging by her outfit, she was someone with money. That cat is Penny. It's the little character that let's say is Captain Nuggy made. But there's a very good reason why they're there. Because all the character art is done by a Nuggy. So the guy who basically goes around and he has that Penny comic made all the art for this. Well, except for the backgrounds. Backgrounds are done by somebody else. Not to mention a custom bus chair. Rich girls already had to put out before the rest, right? Yeah, I know. Sorry. The blanket in the wheelchair on the seat behind her means she probably had polio. Which means she was a cripple. Cripples put out even faster than the rich ones. He liked cripples. He had a thing for carrying girls around, and while he wasn't knight material, he's always dreamed of playing the role. That was the main appeal, right? Swooping in and saving a whole school of crippled girls from their woes with your dick. He could treat even his most pedestrian of interactions as super deep if he had a crippled girlfriend. He could gab endlessly about how dicking a girl with no arms make him feel. How is it make him how he feel? How it inspired him, and no one could stop him. His thought process hadn't really changed in middle school either. Seriously, cripple? The preferred nomenclature is differently abled. She wasn't bothered by the cloak guys in the back, but odd enough for him to sit down next to her. He had this awful habit of letting his interest in a girl drown out any other thoughts. If he wasn't busy thinking of a pickup line, he would have noticed the guys in the back throwing off their cloaks and making their way towards their seat. Fortunately for him, this time he was so focused on trying to get a peek under the blanket that he did notice when she removed it. He really wished they hadn't. A mermaid with teeth like knives. Spear-wielding fishmen in cloaks for some reason. This wasn't a bust, it was an aquarium on wheels. It was just his luck. He finally got out of the graveyard and landed right into a fish tank. He kept trying to think of an excuse to get up and sit somewhere else, even as the fisherman moved the mermaid girl from her seat and into the wheelchair. He wasn't much of a thinker, so he didn't have any luck with that. Sup? Sup? Million of words at your disposal, and it chooses street talk. Street talk in the presence of royalty, a princess no less. Terrence, take a photo of me and the insolent hairless monkey. Tell me, hairless monkey, did your parents care enough about you to bestow upon you a name? Yeah, Xavier, who wants to know? Xavier, how quaint, completely and utterly lacking in refinement whatsoever. And bizarre and brazen too, asking for my name only seconds after revealing your own. Very well, I suppose I can break the rules just once. I am Princess Lorelei Angelica Tabitha Serenia Araxima Morgana Diana Geneva. Oh my god, Geneva Anderson. Princess Lorelei is fine, really. It's fine. So tell me, Xavier, is that thing you sit on top of your head, what is it? Some manner of weapon? Wait, what the fuck are you doing here if you're a princess? Well, if you must know, I'm here as a favor to your government. It was the utmost important that your government in my kingdom patched things up, allegedly. So I've been invited to one of your most prestigious schools. Mon Maiden Academy, I believe it was. Sounds fancy enough. Mon Maiden Academy? The same school he was going to? What were the odds of that? He wasn't sure why, but Xavier felt it was his duty to set her straight. Skelly spent an entire day helping him out. Maybe this was his chance to even the score. Or perhaps he wanted to see her flotation devices. Probably that one. Whatever the case, he explained the situation to her. So what you're saying is, the school I'm being sent to is a school for high-class troublemakers, and they lied to me just to get me to the surface, yeah? I fucking knew it! This guy in the scuba suit shows up 3 days ago, all proper like, yeah, and telling me that I should go to some fucking minted school. I thought he was taking the piss. He's Well, Papa was like, I should do it cause I'm a fucking princess. And now the whole fucking thing is just some fucking ruse. What? Oh, okay, what part of this is delinquent? I haven't foggiest of clue. I'm the smartest student in my one-girl class. I am both polite and well-spoken. I have never bragged about my many accomplishments. I am humble in spite of my beauty and all the talents. And while I might not be the fastest swimmer, I'm a buxom, and that's better than being some flat, fast swimming common girl. And I always remember to treat my toys semi-humanly. I never starve them unless they mouth off. Plus, I'm a princess, so I'm automatically important because I'm a rare, like a blue diamond. Oh god, maybe I really shouldn't have done VNs. I really have no idea why they send me, of all people, to some trash school. No offense. Fuck, what do you mean that your toys humanely? Do you not? I wouldn't even be much of a princess if I broke every toy that came into my possession. Every time one of my 18 brothers goes on an expedition, they always make sure to bring me back a gift or two. Because of them, I'm blessed to have so many toys. Thin ones, fat ones, flat ones, ones that go boing boing, quiet ones, loud ones. The list goes on and on. Some girls are content to throw their dolls whenever. But not me. I got an entire wing of a castle devoted to my dolls. I call it a fun dungeon or fungeon. Gold chains, unbreakable cages, red hot fire pokers, all the essentials. What kind of doll room needs cages? Oh. And this is fine. If we can get by with Alice, this is fine. It's a wonderful room, the sole place I can relax without all the attention. The wonderful, wonderful attention. Even a princess needs a little her time, yeah? Every time I visit my dolls, they have such amusing things to say. I want to see my family. Let me out of this cage. That jewelry doesn't belong to you. And my favorite, people will come looking for me. Such jokers they are. Fortunately, whenever I grow weary of my dolls, my brothers are more than willing to take her off of my hands. We really should get a scheduled play date. Terrence, get the notepad. You can't throw a princess in jail, can you? The Linker schools must be the closest thing. Silence? For what reason? Surely you don't disapprove, yeah? Disapproving of royalty is punishable by death. You're not allowed to do that. I could have you tied into the underside of this bus and dragged for miles. God. Both of these options are really good. Well, I mean, what do you do with your dolls? Do you fuck them? No, that's disgusting, deviant behavior. I'm immoral. It's immoral. It's depraved. The only girl princesses should make two other princesses. No man wants an impure princess, and the only thing purer than one princess is two. You're more than welcome to use them for that purpose if you like. I'd gain an immense pleasure from watching you do so if we're being candid. Nothing about this girl is princess-like. I'll set a date for this as well. One moment, please. Terrence! Where's my fucking notepad? Oh, you useless. You realize that? I should have had you turn it to sushi, you big dumb tuna. What's the kind of name is Terrence for a fish? They don't speak our language, so Papa saw fit to name them all. Mostly things like waste of space, disappointment, lunch, and so forth. Papa's always coming up with clever new ways to humiliate the help. These sevens are my property, so I was in charge of naming them. Obviously, the natural thing was to give them all terrible human names. Terrence, Zachariah, Sylvester, Nathaniel, Sullivan, Chadrick, and Marcelino. I believe that's it. Truly terrible names. I'm almost certain they're all related. They have the same smell, and the same disdain for work, and they better not have fucking left my luggage on the floor again. Xavier, be a deal and administrate the correct level of punishment with this whip. My arms are far too tired. Under the strict orders of being foul-mouthed princes, Xavier began distributing the appropriate amounts of punishment. Wait, I don't even get a say in this part? Oh no! That is, until he realized how fun it was. He might have gone slightly overboard with that. Oh no. Oh no. Lorelei didn't help matters by cheering him on and awarding points. Maybe. He was enjoying it so much he didn't notice the bus had stopped until she spoke up. It appears we've reached our destination. Be a dear and escort me out of this tin can, would you? Realizing this was less of a question and more of a direct order, Xavier did what he was instructed. The fisherman began carrying her luggage, followed 3 steps behind. She refused to wheel herself around after being helped off the bus, so he was stuck doing that as well. The fisherman kept dropping boxes, so he had to stop, turn her around so she could berate them more often than he would liked. Also, aside from that, and occasional questions from the princess about the taste of random birds, it was an uneventful walk to the school grounds, as uneventful as escorting a wheelchair-bound mermaid princess could be. The school itself didn't look like anything special, at least from the outside. It reminded him of an all-girls school across the street from him in his old town. In fact, he only knew that they were in the right spot because of the immensely fancy sign. Lorelei was audibly disappointed by the low-key exterior. But he was more than sure the inside will live up to the super expensive school label. Or not. For some reason, he assumed the whole place would be covered in ivory with gold furnishings. That's why fancy schools always looked like in the romantic dramas his mother was so fond of. But this looked like a hall of some summer camp cabin. Once again, Lorelei made her disappointment known. Human standards aren't really this low, yeah? There's no way you lot can look at this and call it prestigious. Where's the red carpet? Where are the slaves carrying our boxes? Where's the crowds of people welcoming us at our grand arrival? Xavier didn't know about any of the other nonsense, but she was right about one thing. It was odd that they hadn't seen another person since they arrived. They could be the only two troublemakers enrolled. He was all set to turn around when he started looking for the skeleton when he heard a familiar voice. Is that Xavier? You made it? She came barreling down the hall, but was somehow able to stop just short of knocking Xavier over. Made it? Why would he make it? You have no idea how glad I am to see you. The place is a ghost town. I've gotten info about it, and I didn't have anyone to talk to. I was starting to worry about one of those self-driving buses malfunctioned again, and you went off a cliff. That doesn't happen that often. Honest. Xavier wanted to yell at her for leaving him in a bus that could have killed him, but Lorelei spoke before he could. Excuse me? Aren't you going to introduce me to the tour skeleton? You don't expect me to do that myself, yeah? Skeletitties, Princess Memories, D Cup, C Cup. Princess Memories? Delightful! Xavier's coolness never fails to impress. Hilarious introduction aside, I am Princess Lorelei Anderson. Please don't go out of your way to give me an extra attention. Just treat me like you would any of your betters. Got it. Skelly de Morte at your service. Unless you need me to do any of the work, then I'm not at your service at all. Oh wait, I have info. I got bored waiting for you to show up, so I took a look around. I didn't think anyone would mind. This is what I learned. This is all the intel Skelly has. It is. There is absolutely no one else here. And not that completely true. I heard mumbling near the library, but didn't bother to check it out. How? You didn't voice the source of the noise? How odd. Smart girls don't go after monsters without a strong man to take the bullet for them. That's true. Continue. So there's basically absolutely no one else here, which is odd. Maybe we're too early. The school itself seems to be separated into two sections. The side features 2 classrooms, a cafeteria, several rooms I couldn't break into, and an entire hall of bedrooms. Speaking of which, I may or may not have tried to look in the other rooms where Scully was helping me move my stuff. And I may or may not have any luck with that because all the doors need ID cards to open. But there was some human movers bringing in stuff, well, I can only assume it's Xavier's room a few hours ago, so there must be another way in. Still, paying extra for human movers, Xavier's parents must really spoil him. Where was I? Right, the second wing. The other side is all futuristic and fancy, like how you expect this school to look. Most of the doors were locked, but I could see some in them. There are several classrooms, a library, a nurse's office, a pool, and a teacher's lounge. Couldn't get in the last one, even after trying to pick the lock, but I did see a chart in the nurse's office. There's another really long hallway that probably leads to a third wing, but the door leading to it won't open. That's all Skelly has to report. Chart? Right. As far as I can tell, it's a list of the school students enrolled. No names, just male and female symbols. 7 female symbols, 1 male symbol, and 1 question mark. What kind of gender is a question mark? Isn't that some secret character thing? If I understand correctly, and please stop me if I misunderstood, you're saying Xavier is the only male student enrolled? Yeah, well, part of that's because of dev rating, so. Yeah, you're right. Huh? I bet that makes it really easy for a group of girls to take advantage of him. Forcing himself in a different girl every day of the week would be child's play as well. Well, whatever Xavier decides to do, Skelly will be up for it. Well, they might. There is some auras. At least one aura. Likewise, it's a job of the princess to support men in need, after all. In the meantime, could you show me to my room, tour skeleton? I have to contact Papa so I know I made it here safely. Sure thing, princess. Xavier, you don't have to wait for me to come back. Take a look around. Or maybe I have better luck finding things I did. I'll meet you back here in an hour, so don't worry not to get lost. And then they leave. Per Skelly's suggestion, Xavier decides to look around instead of waiting for them to return. The building had large, a few secrets. Or something worth stealing. If all went well, he could kill him in half an hour or so. Oh, I was about to say, he could kill himself. No cuts, no butts, no rape. Oh no. Wait, I shouldn't say oh no to no rape. First up, the cafeteria. Much like the previous hall, it was a bit low-key for the school. Not that he cared, he's just hoping he could find something to eat. There was a few frozen pizzas in the kitchen, but he didn't have the patience for that. With nothing else to do, it was off to another wing. She was right in being futuristic compared to the other side. It wasn't the nicest house, but it was definitely more in line with what he expected. A classroom. Xavier couldn't remember the last time he stepped foot in one of these. Since the last expulsion, the majority of his time was spent bothering his dad at work. He wasn't sure what to do in school. The entire room felt alien to him. The school's nature was also an issue. Because of it, he probably couldn't get sent home no matter how hard he tried. Would he have to learn? Was this his life now, being some loser who reads books willingly? The thought of it was making him sick. He had to get out of there. The library. Not a great place if you don't want books or learning, kid. He wasn't sure if it was a nice skeleton of the books or not, unless he was hitting on the librarian, which he never went near them. The table seemed sturdy enough to sleep on, and that was good enough for him. He was set to leave when he remembered Skelly mentioning a noise. Maybe it was coming from that door in the back. No noises, but it was an odd door. Anything that plane had to lead to a secret room. It wouldn't open. He started to look for something to burn it down with. Maybe he could use the matches they had on him. Fortunately for the door, he noticed pen and paper nearby before trying. What hurts the first time when you have it feels warm inside and makes you miserable if you never received it from someone. A riddle? Hold on. I'm pretty sure I know what the answer to the riddle is. But, there's multiple answers in a way. Not even an hour and he was always being forced to do homework. Lowercase only. I know what the answer is. Hopefully this will work. It's dick. He wrote his answer down and slid it on the door. A click. The door opened on its own shortly after. He couldn't believe that actually worked. I forget because one time I did it and it was I wrote down penis and then it didn't accept it. He did his best to steal his nerves before entering the dark room ahead of him. Who knew what horrors lurked inside of it? Another library! Yes, another library. Why would anyone hide a second library behind a riddle-protected door? The school managed to make secrets boring. Bizarreness design, this one fit a high-class description completely. If he cared about books at all, he wouldn't have really been impressed. He also searched around for anything that could explain why this room needed to be hidden, but only found a book. The book itself wasn't special appearance-wise, but it wasn't on the shelf. That had to mean something, probably. He picked it up and flipped through it. 10th of April, I made my prince a scarf for his birthday today. I'm certain he liked it. He did not say so, but he smiled in my direction. That action speaks louder than words ever could. Of course, my parents punished me harshly for using leftover materials, but it was worth it. 15th of April, my prince came down with some sort of sickness. He insisted I go home and help the family business, but I wouldn't be able to sleep knowing that he was suffering. I spent the entire day by his bed. I will stay by his side forever if that was what it takes for me to notice him, or for him to notice me. 16th of May, my birthday, but it's my younger, prettier sister's birthday as well. I am unfortunate. Naturally, all attention was given to her, and I was forced to do her work in addition to my own. An unfortunate girl like me should not be permitted to exist. But my prince remembered. He even invited me to stay with him at his castle, so I told him how I felt before bed. He did not respond. Was he pretending not to hear me? No, he would not do that. He must not have heard. 20th of May, my prince invited me to one of his parties. All the royal girls my age were with their fancy dresses, so I felt so out of place. I am very unfortunate to exist in the same space as them. I overheard one of the wealthy girls speaking ill of my prince. I only wanted to correct her misconceptions. But I brought my scissors and I may have lost my temper. It's not if she will need the use of both of her hands. I was certain that my unfortunate and miserable life would end here. However, my prince stood up for me and told her to leave. He is the most wonderful boy alive, without a doubt. 14th of June, my prince said he loved me, like a brother. A brother? I am no boy. Why would he say such cruel things? Does he not know how much I care? I must not be trying hard enough. This is a sign. I have to do work of 10 women to earn his love. The longer he read, the more pathetic this girl's inability to get royal meat scepter became. He wanted to stop, but it was a train wreck. He couldn't even put it back down. Because he was so entertained by it, he didn't even notice the books floating off the shelves behind him. You colossal waste of flesh! What gives you the right to put your disgusting hands on the things that do not belong to you? Have you no shame? Have you no decency? Get out! Get out, get out, get out, get out! That book was super pissed, so Xavier did what any responsible person would have done in that situation. He threw it into a wall and made a run for it. When he arrived at the door, his path was obstructed by floating books, which clearly shared the pissed off book's sentiment. Why were they blocking his exit if they wanted him to leave so badly? Before he could shove them out of his way, the books returned to their shelves. That was a minor inconvenience. A ghost? This school's just full of surprises. Staying up all night to beat the dungeon was a terrible idea. Only a dreadfully unfortunate girl like me could make such a stupid decision. Who are you? Why are you still here? Got lost? You accidentally answered my riddle and accidentally entered the room. Is your idiocy that limitless? Do not attempt to answer that. I already know this in the case. Give me your name, imbecile, so I may report you to the constable. Okay. Zebra, what about you? I do not have an answer to that. You are not in charge here. Excuse me, my frankness. Did you say your name was Xavier, as in Xavier Loveless? Xavier nodded. It was his last name, but he had no idea how she knew that. Did she go through his things? She had to. Ghosts have no sense of personal space. I see. I believe we have a problem. Wait here. While waiting for her return, he wondered what she was doing here. Was she a student? What good is an education to someone who's dead? If he were a ghost, he wouldn't spend all his time trying to learn like a nerd. He'd spend it stealing people's keys. Here, look at this, dullard. I do not wish to repeat myself, so lend me your ears. Another book. Well, if I saw something filled with duels, a book. It begins here with my mother and father. I dare not speak of their names, for I am a good girl. Father would surely strike me if I did. They were fortunate enough to have two healthy children. Aurelia, the fortunate girl who is constantly overshadowed by her younger sibling. And Evelyn, the treasure, but fuck these names. Fuck old names. And while they were both similar, Aurelia was clearly the most talented of the two. Not that anybody noticed. Aurelia was unfortunate as she was perished at the tender age of 14. She would never know the love or joy of marital congress. So unfortunate. Eve, however, went on to create a mildly successful children's book series. At the age of 20, she married some dick. I do not know his name, and I do not wish to learn it. Are you following me, dullard? Blink twice if you're still following me. There we go. Even her dick husband only had one child, a son. He grew up to be a writer as well as a bald fuck who married a very hoydenish woman. They had two children, Oates, who never married because his awful name, and Derek, who was an artist, such a useless trade. He married Marie, a seamstress who was far too good for him. They had one child, Gabriel, an insidious boy who only cared about himself. He married this Russian woman, Hannah, and they had one child, Mr. Xavier Loveless. Oh no, entire family. If I hook up with a ghost, I'll be like fucking an ancestor. A hoodlum with no prospects, no education, and a revolting hairstyle. A rather pleasing ending to a once great family line. Yes, she is legitimately a great aunt. Do you see what I'm getting at, you dunce? You're the fucking ghost of generations past or something? Obviously not. What would it even entail? Jesus fucking Christ. You will never get it if I wait for you. I am Aurelia. She's Aurelia, the girl from the start, so that means... So you're like my great-grandmother, right? How dare you! I'm not that old, you simpleton. I'm your aunt. Your aunt from 4 generations ago, to be exact. Okay, what's the problem? Is it not obvious? Your lustrous lust for the female form will overtake you. You will force yourself into my ethereal body with no regard for societal mores. Using me nothing more than a repository for your seed until I'm explicitly carrying your children. She just hovered there, giggling like a mad woman until he interrupted. I just realized that this character reminds me of, oh god, what's her name? From Danganronpa. Not Genocide Jack, but the normal personality. Bitch, we're related. Oh wait, how? Yeah, Tomoko. How would I even dick a ghost? You will find a way. Thugs like you always do. Nothing can stand between a man and his procreative urges. A pure, unfortunate girl like me would have no chance of stopping a sex-crazed beast like you. That wasn't selling for him as for a host of reasons. Oh lady, if you wanted the dick, just say so. How dare you suggest I have any interest in you? I'm going to take the high road and ignore that comment. It is a shame Gabriel could not beat some decorum into you. How did an implaceable boy like him sire such a worthless successor anyway? It must be related to that mother of yours. No one on our side of the family acts like this or dresses like that. You know my dad? I kept a very close eye on all my male relatives while they were youthful. Once they became old and disgusting, they could die in a ditch for all I care. Oh no. If we lived in a perfect world, that is exactly what would happen. But Gabriel was my favorite. His spitefulness really could not be matched. And then there's the matter of his condition. All of those things serve to make him thoroughly perfect, but I don't have to tell you that. She really didn't. You know of the senator's spitefulness firsthand. Shit, he was back to think of him as the senator. It bothered him on a subatomic level, but it was entrenched so deeply that he couldn't help it. And just like that, he no longer had any desire to discuss the senator or his condition with her, but he soldiered on. He was so demanding and dismissive, it reminded me very much of my prince. We were a remarkable pair, he and I. He would give an order and I would carry it out with delay. Alas, our partnership came to an unfortunate end one night when... And even unfortunate girls have needs. He demanded I leave and never contact him again or interact with his spawn. I promised I would. I owed him that much in exchange for the time he wasted on me. And you being here ruins that promise. You have to leave now. You have to leave now. Oh, Toko. Oh, this is... Oh, yeah, because Tomoko is, yeah. Tomoko, you're thinking of, the I'm not popular girl. Which almost is the exact same thing. They ever had no problem leaving right then and there. This entire situation weirded him out. How the hell was he supposed to get laid if his dead aunt could float her way into his room at any moment? He didn't doubt for a second that she would do it if given the opportunity. He also had no problems keeping her existence secret from others. Fishbone would start asking questions about his family if they met her, and that was the last thing he wanted. Things were weird enough without discussing his parents. Aside from the library, nothing else to note in this wing. He was ready to turn back and wait for Skelly in the first hallway when he heard a noise coming from a nearby room. Skelly's mumble monster? He was fully expecting it to be something inane, but it couldn't be worse than the rest of this look around. An art room? Skelly didn't mention this. The only thing he hated more than books was art, so perhaps it was for the best. Once again, he found himself moments away from turning back, and once again, he was interrupted. This time by a girl jumping out of a locker, walking towards the window and clearing her throat loudly. Why do you keep running into girls with their heads not screwed on right? The eye catches, and a new student is introduced, Des. At the last second, a boy, a singular one boy, Des. Did this suddenly become a harem series? Genres shift constantly and focus testing, but we're airing. Could it be we're an idol show now, Des? Is one singular boy a producer or a love interest? A brogue, an Irish brogue. Oh, I was been doing an Irish accent or whatever. Not strong enough to confuse him, but distract him all the same. That doesn't say her nonsense would have been clear without it, or far from it, but it certainly wasn't held. What you say, Mel? Are you a producer, Des? Sure. The answer is yes, but phrase that's the question. Question marks denote confusion, Des. Confusion means there's a misunderstanding somehow. If you don't understand, you couldn't possibly answer yes, Des. There's only people who answer when they don't understand are idiots. You're not an idiot, are you, producer? Xavier finally figured it out. His parent had tricked him into committing himself into an insane asylum under the disguise of enrolling in a fancy school. He had to hand it to them. It was a brilliant plan. They would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for this crazy girl and her named questions. Insane questions that would have gone unanswered because he was distracted by her pose. That familiar, but completely impossible pose. He couldn't figure out how she was doing it. By all accounts, she should have snapped by now. Her neck should have snapped by now. I haven't played a lot of Hoonie Pop, so... I have one, but I barely put any time into it. She tilted her head back further, possibly getting a better look at him. Further and further. Until... Boop! Oh. Her visible eyes stared at him, unblinking. Despite her unmistakable death, her body continues to stand. Rigor mortis must have set in real quick. The heart-filled smoke cloud seems unusual, but Xavier didn't have a medical degree, so maybe it wasn't. Still, what a terrible way to go. Imitating some anime bullshit. The burden telling others about the girl's death would fall to him. He didn't know her at all. If she held a position, maybe he could just leave her for someone else to find. What a pain this would turn out to be. Oh, are you still here? And you didn't scream? Producer's mental fortitude is notable, Des. Wait, I forgot. Irish. Producer's definitely a main character. Forgive me for not realizing who you are. It's been a while, Des. Oh shit, she's alive. That is to say, of course she's alive. You're a real shit writer, lady. Yeah, well, whatever, stupid. You wouldn't last one day doing what I do. Whatever, stupid. Of course she's alive. This is a monster girl school. She must have been one of those Dullahans, like the one that on that show that we watched for Scully. He was still having trouble processing the entire situation. She kept her eyes focused on him, even though she removed her head from her hoodie. He didn't know whether or not to look at her face or her neck. Speaking of which, the room smelled vaguely as cupcakes. Was that because of her neck smoke? Should have asked about that? Was he allowed to ask about that? All this race etiquette was going to be the death of him. Lane. What? My name is Lane. Producer's name is Xavier, correct? Xavier's a strange name for a main character. Shut up. No. And even stranger hairstyle, Des. Having protagonists really changed that much. Ah, it's alright if I call you producer, isn't it? Okay, but how do you know my name? Nani? Ah, it's all on the file. The file chart. The chart that's also a file. The skeleton girl tried to get in the room a few hours ago, but the door was locked. Never send the undead to do a magical maiden's job, Des. I unlocked it with the love lantern once she left. My current theory was born from the information gained by reading the file in charge in that room. The theory is that this is some kind of idol show. That's my current theory currently. Producer's not my type. It's only theory that holds water. Yes, it's the magical girl from the show. I'm still holding my hand, aren't I? Mate kudasai desu. Wait, magical maiden, love lantern, Lane? What are the chances of her being the girl from that show? Well, it couldn't hurt to ask. I'm the embodiment of love and hope? Justice flows through my veins. Return from whence you came, vengeful spirit. Lucky love link. It's been a while since I heard that one. You save the world weekly, and the only people who remember you are basement-dwelling lolicons. Everyone else forgets you as soon as the Moe Menace comes up with a new slice of life show. Makes you wonder why we even bothered, Des. Moe Menace? Oh, I shouldn't have assumed you know what I meant. It's really an industry term, Des. Haven't you noticed a shift in entertainment? How it's gone from people having adventures to cute girls doing nothing for half an hour? How every show must feature an attractive girl or two or seven, even if it's out of place? How all the merchandise focuses upon the same girls regardless of their plot importance? Don't you watch anime at all? Haven't you noticed? He hadn't. He never watched any anime unless it involved guys punching things. It's the work of the Moe Menace, Des. It wouldn't be satisfying until everything is the same. Until everything is completely under this control. Okay, but that doesn't tell me what it is. Appearances. Moe Menace has so many forms, Des. It changes to match whatever trend is popular at the time. The last time I fought it was posing as an eye patch wearing guitarist who didn't realize she was a god. She also had a mole and was one of those cat smiles. The ones that look like a 3 Des. The one thing that's consistent is his fishhook shaped pupils. It must not have figured out how to change that. Maybe it can't for whatever reason. If you see a girl with fishhook pupils, don't fall for his charms, producer. What are the chances that about happening? Oh, will you excuse me? It's nap time, Des. Producer seems on the up and up. I'm less certain you kill us all due to bad decision making, Des. If the skeleton mentions it, tell her I was the one who unlocked the door. It was nice meeting, producer. Don't be a stranger, Des. The weird girl removed herself from his presence, and Xavier left to meet up with Skelly. He couldn't wait to see her again. Sure, she was weird, but it wasn't insufferable and pretentious like the head girl. She's kind of cute. What? No, she isn't. Well, maybe in your little sister annoying friend kind of way. Nope, not seeing it. She's terrible and you're terrible for suggesting it. That is to say, Xavier made his way back to the wooden hall, confident she'll still be there waiting for him. And there she was! Maybe he could count on her being punctual. That's probably all he can count on. There you are. After helping the princess with her stuff, I got the chance to look around again and found more info. Speaking of which, did she tell her about her dad? Or is it just me, or does that guy have a few screws loose? Oh, she did with the cool thing with the bathtub. The water became like a little holographic telephone. It's like something out of a space movie. I'm getting distracted again, aren't I? Once the princess shoved me out of the room, I decided to go look for you. Couldn't find you at all. Did you get lost or something? Trapped in the room? Maybe we should go get you a whistle. But while Skelly didn't find you, she did find the nurse's office door unlocked. Yeah, Lane comes here. Lane? You mean lovely Lady Ed Lane? She's here? You met her? No wonder I couldn't find her. What's she like? What did you do? Did you do her? Obvious not. She's fucking flat. So, a true memory master loves all shapes and sizes. DFC exists so you can be closer to their hearts. That's the whole point. We got a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity here, and I'm not gonna miss my chance of finding out what Lane's breasts look like because of you. Learn to love the itty-bitty titties. Xavier made a mental note to avoid talking about Lane's itty-bitty titties in the future. Once again, I derailed the conversation. Really need to work on that. The nurse's office, that was the subject. The door was unlocked, so I did a little digging. Skelly found 9 photos on desk, but all but one had the contents removed. Lane has them, doesn't she? Seems like a thing Lane would do. Definitely a Lane thing to do. What would she want from my file? She must have been in a hurry because the only papers left behind were in the copier. What was on the papers, you ask? Information about a certain Xavier Lovelace. Why didn't you tell me your last name was Lovelace? That's super cool. Main character cool. Why didn't you tell me your middle name was Wolfgang? Oh shit, my middle name's Wolfgang. You speak 4 languages? Why didn't you tell me that? Why didn't you tell me that your mom is a duchess? That makes you royalty, right? Why didn't you tell me your dad is a senator? That's cooler than being royalty. You can cook, you can sew, you got fencing awards, you play 3 instruments. Skelly's got a thing with her entire sense about you being nothing but a thug. If she had stopped verbally filleting him for a second, he would have explained that verbal fellation is exactly why he didn't mention it. He didn't want people to think he was anything other than a thug. It took him years to build up that reputation. His whole life was based around that aesthetic. It was a nice aesthetic, and he wasn't willing to give it up. I bet you're super rich too, never had to do a someone job. Rich. Copier? I bet the 2 boxes of ramen that she was in the process of copying files. She must have heard someone coming and assumed that I would be able to return with the originals later. Of course, that someone was you, and while you were distracted with the chit-chat, Silly grabbed the files. We were such a good team, we completely derailed the plan without even knowing what was happening. Why would she need to copy his files? Why did she need his files at all? It was bad enough Skelly knew what she did, and now he had to worry about both of the Ichabod dames. Shit, do you think she should be mad at us when she figures out what happened? Well, we didn't do it on purpose, she'll understand that, right? You have the files? Nope. Skelly's not that socially inept. After I finished looking, I slid them under your bedroom door. I would have placed them on your bed, but, you know, locks. I wonder what she plans to do with all that info. Do you think she has my file? She definitely has my file. I don't know anything worth hiding, that's what you're thinking. I just feel better if I had it back. So... Oh, you probably went about dinner, right? Well, worry not. Skelly showed some initiative and cooked a few ramen bowls. I offered to make a few for the appearances, but she didn't anything that came to bleed. She told me she brought dinner with her, which is super resourceful. I wonder what she's gonna eat. A couple of those boxes in the room kept moving around. Should we be concerned about that? You keep letting me get distracted. You gotta stop me when I do that, or we'll be here all night. Get back to subject. I left the ramen box outside your room. No need to thank me, I'm just doing my part. Now, if you excuse me, Skelly has some stuff. But she needs to see you first thing in the morning. Closer to noon that morning. Tomorrow something. See you tomorrow something. The fuck are you doing so important? Even you, as if it doesn't mince words. Skelly's had no choice but to submit to your assertiveness. There's a long list of things I have to take over tonight. I gotta call Skelly, which is an hour or 3 of my time, depending on how many bowls he smoked. He will at some point suggest I call Father, which I do. If I only to keep Father from lecturing me about calling him. It would be pointless because Father will lecture me regardless. That's gonna be 2 hours at very least. Then I gotta catch up on that show about the guy whose dick turns into a cute cross-dressing boy. Wait. Now we're in now we're in I just started thinking about that. It's like, what if the dick turns into a cute cross-dressing boy, but it's the whatever, the fucking fake guy, the thing that's been going around recently. But it was that cross-dresser who has that even bigger dick. So your dick turns into a boy with an even bigger dick. Anyways, moving on. After that, in an hour, Skelly time, and I'll be too tuckered out to do anything else. Does that explain Skelly's situation well enough? If you want, we can call me after tonight if you're still awake. I should be free then. Or maybe I'll call you. Someone's getting called. That's the important thing here. See you tomorrow, Xavier. Don't do anything silly while I'm gone. Parting with Skeleton. Why do I have so many cans of soda? In the skeleton room, Xavier found himself eating slightly cold ramen alone in his room. Not a fitting way to end the day. He had no complaints about the ramen, however. The ramen was perfect. But perfect or not, ramen can keep him occupied for several hours. So he decided to spend extra time cleaning up. Cleaning, unexpected, but alright. There was an empty box under his bed. Box that would hold pornographic DVDs if it belonged to anybody else, but Xavier always kept his porn out in the open. No, this box would be home to something much more sinister. Family photos. That's more like it. He couldn't understand why his mother insisted he take photos with him whenever he left for more than a day. It took him an hour and a half to find them all, and when he finished, he had still plenty of time on his hands and nothing to do with it. Let's watch TV. Fuck it. You're killing me here, kid. Desperate to keep himself occupied, Xavier turned on the TV. Channel 9, a sitcom about a human boy living with 4 nerdy monster girls. Obnoxious laughter punctuated every joke. Channel 52, Mandragora versus Food. Channel 36, a giant Oni man and a tiny feminine angel man trying to sell cookware. The Oni was considerably less passionate about the situation. Channel 10, a Lamia interviewing a dragon pair about the new film. Channel 3, the news. Several numbers went by on the ticker. He didn't care enough to keep watching. Channel 479, 3 old bunny women discussing cars. Channel 6, 2 incredibly drunk Oni men making random things explode. Now this was quality television. Xavier became so wrapped up in it, he forgot to check any of the channels. Next thing he knew, it was after midnight. No calls. He was beginning to wonder if she'd forgotten when the phone rang. Part of him was glad she didn't forget. It wasn't as he had anything better to do with his time. Mr. 1785, you still up? I thought you'd be asleep by now. If I had your day, I know I would be. All I had to do was make some calls, and I'm already tired. What was the agenda for tonight? I wrote down some questions on a napkin. I did. Wait, did I throw that one away? Oh, the numbers on the news tonight. Did you see it? No. Really? I guess you're not a fan of the news. No worries, Skelly watches the news every night. I bet your eyes and ears to the outside world. Let's see, a group of Harvard kids robbed another fast food joint. Didn't take any money, just burgers and condiments. The police think they're working with an ogre teenager, which is really cute. I wonder if they're living in like some sort of shady shanty town. What else? The cat girl's getting her own show. What was it again? Nickel, dime, something like that. The Golem baseball player got transferred to a new team. Oh, right, your number. It was on the ticker right before sign-off. That means you're officially a legal citizen. Congrats. I wouldn't have called you sooner, but I had to deal with Scully taking my ear off about his motorcycle crash. And then I had to wait for Father to get out of a meeting, which meant talking about his stupid secretary. And then once he got on, it'll turn into a lecture, like it does every time. But I think I disarmed him once I mentioned a sweet human guy I met yesterday. Wait. Who you call him sweet? I couldn't come out and say you kind of asshole I would go on a date with. He already dislikes you people. Why pour salt on the wound? Oh no. If I say you're sweet, then we have a nice conversation about how I should keep your eye on you regardless. Because you're probably a thief and you steal my things if I'm not paying attention. If I say you're cool, I gotta listen to him go on a huge rant about how awful humans are. How are you just using me? You can't be trusted. You probably a spy and stupid things like that. You turn a 30-minute conversation into a 2-hour one if you're not careful. It's just easier to lie and say you're a sweet nerd instead. That's an asshole remark was a compliment, by the way. Hey, did you hear that? It's a sleepyhead express coming to pick me up. I don't think a conductor's gonna wait much longer, so I better wrap this up. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Good night, Xavier. Don't forget your ticket or a train pass you by. Not much. We watched TV. That was just her euphemism for falling asleep, a joke. Plus, Skelly's dad is human racist. Skelly bras of love adventures, the mystery of skeletitties. Morning. Not only did Xavier survive the night, he slept well. The dawn of a new day. A teacher would arrive and he wouldn't be stuck babysitting all these weird girls. Nothing but smooth sailing from here on out. Well, still, something was wrong with this morning. Breakfast. There was no breakfast in this room. No pancakes, no alcohol, no bacon, not even a slice of toast. This was unprecedented. Three women fully capable of picking up a frying pan and not one of them made him breakfast. There should be a law against things like that. Why wasn't there a law? You could just make your own breakfast instead of forcing gender roles on them, you know. Lady, you're right. I'm not angry at you, I'm angry at me. Once you get cast as the flat one or the one that makes food, it's hard to break out of that. You'd be stuck making cakes for the rest of your existence because you're the flat girl who's good at baking. Sure, I could take over the family business, but why should I? This isn't relevant to what's going on here now. Where were we? Xavier decided to find one of the strange dames and discuss the breakfast situation. He'd have his breakfast. There was a minor setback, a bump in the road. It was a matter of locating someone to make it. First, the skeleton. He knocked on the door. No response. A hastily made sign was placed in the bottom of the door. Have you ever heard the saying, let dead men lie, don't wake the dead? He could hear her snoring through the door, so the sign wasn't really needed. Next up, the fish. No response. Maybe she went for a walk, or a roll. This is her first time on the surface. Doesn't make much sense for her to stay cooped up all day. He considered on knocking on Lane's door, but common sense got the better of him. There was this weird charm she taped on the door only to serve to reinforce his system. All these vaporwave bullshit. So much for smooth sailing. With nothing better to do with his time, Xavier made his way outside. Alright, this weren't going well as he planned, but he fixed this. It was a small setback. Excuse me, I'm gonna have to... Skelly had to wake up eventually. The princess couldn't have gone far into that chair of hers. Hello? It doesn't matter if waiting, really. He get his breakfast. I don't mean to bother you, but wait, no, that isn't a southern accent. I don't mean to bother you, but I'm a little lost. What did this lady want? He couldn't see he was busy thinking about breakfast. Touch the cow. Do it now. I'm sorry to interrupt, darling. I truly am. If you could point me in the direction of Mon Maiden Academy, I'll get you right out of your hair. Cow titties. Cow. Tits. Cow tits. Well, list of weird things he had to see so far, Cowgirl wouldn't rank very high. He could recall the cafeteria having any cereal, but at least there was set on milk. Still running into a girl who could serve his breakfast issues, his luck was starting to turn around. And she barely looked like monster-like. That was a bonus. Unless her insides were monstrous. Maybe she had 5 stomachs or something. How many stomachs do cows have? 5? 6? Feeding a girl with 6 stomachs would definitely be a pain. She didn't break the silence by spouting off weird references. She didn't have shark teeth. Her heads were still on. She seemed normal. A normal girl. Things were really beginning to look up. You're all right there. Should I call someone, darling? How many stomachs you got? Cow tits. Manners, dear darling, manners. If you like to say if you wouldn't say it to your mama, don't say it to me. Now I'm gonna pretend you didn't ask me that. I'm gonna pretend you were a gentleman and asked if I needed help instead. I've been going in circles for I feel like 5 forevers now. This should be the spot according to the map I brought. But it doesn't look anything like the brochure. I need a place to rest my feet for a moment. Map? What map? He didn't see a map in the basket of hers. Wait a sec. Of course! Where else would you put a map? Other than your basket or bag or your hands. Xavier wanted to help her, but he knew he couldn't without looking at the map. It would be irresponsible to give out directions without feeling up that map. Grabbing that map. Squeezing the map. He really needed to see that map. Touch the cow, do it now. The map. He needed it. The glorious map. All he had to do was reach out and grab them. Just what do you think you're doing? Denied. So close and yet... Is she keeping that hat in her tits too? Listen up, darling, because I'm only going to say this once. Eyes are for looking, hands are for grabbing. You don't need to be grabbing anything on my person, you got it? She doesn't mince words. I've changed my mind. She gets my vote. That is to say, Xavier was disappointed by this turn of events, but not surprised. He just try again on a later date. Nothing would stop him from accessing those milk jugs. We've clearly gone off the wrong foot, so I'm going to start over. My name is Clara Rivenel. I am 17 years old. My owners are a small family of 3. I can play the banjo, make socks, look like new again, pull a tractor, and make a mean apple pie. Don't just stand there, darling. Introduce yourself. Okay, Xavier. Xavier? Okay, I got it. It's nice meeting you, even if it did start out on a shaky footing. It just goes to show you can't even turn the worst situation around if you're polite enough. Did you say owners? I would like... The family I belong to, legally. I lived with the Revenels for the first 3 years of my life, but they couldn't afford to keep me. They always had Heidi, and she ate twice as much as I did, so they sold me to the Carpenter family down the street. The last name is Carpenter, they aren't actually. They're terrific people. I want to remind you that this is written by a black woman. So any kind of subject matter that might be considered weird is not weird at all. It's approved. A black woman wrote it. They never asked me to do anything more than my fair share. They pay me for my services. I have my own room. It's almost as if I'm part of the family. Actually, it's because of them that I'm here today. They put money aside every day for the last 8 years, just so I can fulfill my dream of going to this school. The brochure said there would be a red carpet, a buffet, teachers greeting me at the door. Did I get here too early? Yet another girl had no idea what she was getting into. What's with this place? Couldn't school for high school troublemakers afford to inform people of the change? Once again, he found himself explaining the situation. Not that he cared about what happened to her. He totally didn't. It was his responsibility as a man to set her straight. A school for rich troublemakers? That's disappointing. But all the facilities are still functional, aren't they? Wealthy brats probably aren't much in the fight department neither. Plus, they spent all that money to send me here. No point in crying over spilt milk. Alright, I decided I'm going to stay here. I might not be high-class hood, but I can still benefit from high-class education. And I bet the teachers need help wrangling you derelicts. Taking out the trash is one of my many talents. I haven't seen a teacher here. Really? That's incredibly irresponsible. I guess I could keep things steady until an authority arrives, unless it's just you and me. It's not just you and me, right? That'd be crazy. There are other students, aren't there? Damn. Well, we gotta mention skeleton. Does that girl with these spreads attached have a name, darling? Name? Why does she need a name? You already described the most important part. It's a skeleton with tits. What more do you need? She was... Okay, yes, that was the next line. Sue me. Realizing she felt to see it that way, Saver described Skelly as best as he could. Unfortunately, Skelly's eccentricities made her difficult to describe. An anime-loving meme skeleton. What's a meme? What is anime? Leave it to the skeleton to be incomprehensible. I don't suppose you understand any of this foolishness, darling. No, she got a skeleton. I don't think it's a good idea to be asking about that. Skeletons infuriate me. On the other hand, I suppose it could be good practice. If I can go through a conversation with a skeleton without wanting to hurt it, I'll be making progress. And I'm not much for shying away from a challenge. Okay, I'll take your advice and ask the skeleton, darling. But if she starts making bone puns, I can't promise I won't punch her in her undead face. This'll be fun. Don't be bothered, but we've been here for an awfully long time. Do you have any intention of showing me the indoors, or my fate is stand here on my feet and all day? Indoors. That's right, breakfast! Maybe he convinced the cow that it was her duty as the new girl to do it. He loved how it tells her no one else knew how. Seems simple enough. There you are, stay put, skin ape, I'll be right over. Or not. Rather than wheel herself over there, she instructed two fishmen to carry her over and place her chair on top of the table bench, which seems really pointless to him, but who was he to question royalty? The return of the fish princess. Where the hell was she 30 minutes ago when he needed her? What are you fucking doing out here? I'm hungry and I don't know where the maids are. I ate 2 weeks worth of food last night. I don't know how to fucking cook. I ain't no fucking servant. Don't make my own fucking food. You gotta fucking help me, mate. I can't fucking live like this. What are you fucking doing here? I don't know. Me? Where the fuck were you, woman? Well, I noticed these delightful long-tailed rodents scurrying outside my window. They seem like they solved their food problem by eating things on the ground. So I came out here hoping these rodents were to solve my food problem. But whenever I got close to catch one, they keep running back up the trees. They shouldn't be able to do that. How is that fucking fair to me? May I interject real quick? Oh, she's still here. Weird. Those are squirrels. Please do not eat them. Squirrels? Yeah. What a strange name. I would love to name them wood rats. I don't believe we've been introduced. Fix that, would you, blue dress woman? Blue dress? I'm Clara Ravenel Carver, and pleased to meet you. I just got here, but I'll do my best to assist you in any way I can. Princess Lorelei Anderson. I'm sure the skin ape has mentioned me. I don't think he did, actually. Outrageous! Truly, truly, truly outrageous! But completely acceptable. Describing me would require a poet or some artist type. Preferably someone whose drawing skill is near my level, as impossible as that sounds. I'd rather have breakfast. Breakfast! I desire breakfast as well, skin ape. But I think it's impossible unless we have someone who can provide it, yeah? I'm incapable of cooking, and I don't believe you're skilled at it. Well, I can just... Well, if you need someone to make breakfast, I reckon I can help you with that. I'm not sure about that. Miss Clara, was it? What exactly are you? I'm just a cow person. Why? Just a cow person? Well, I reckon you might be provide after all. The tour skeleton mentioned something interesting last night. There's a popular dish known as the hamburger, made from something known as land cow. Is this information correct? Yeah. So, it should be obvious, yeah? If your hamburgers are made of cows, could I not take part of this land cow? For example, one of her exquisite breasts? And cook it much like you would call a hamburger? You need more of the ass meat, I guess. Wouldn't you get more meat from the back? Are you suggesting I eat the posterior of this land cow? Is that how things are normally done? No matter, I accept your proposition. I will devour the ass of this land cow. Please stop encouraging this foolishness, darling. Why are we discussing hamburgers of all things? There is no breakfast and I'm starving. Hamburgers are made from cow. You are a cow. Seems like an easy solution to my problem. That's a terrible solution. We're not doing that. Mr. Xavier would just go out and get us something. He was planning on doing that anyways, weren't you? No. He was. He was. He was. You can't expect me to make a breakfast without ingredients, darling. I'm good, but I'm not that good. You can't possibly ask either of us to go get them. I just got here, and she's in a wheelchair. That's right, you can't expect me to do anything. I'm a fucking cripple. No, you're just really fucking lazy. Outrageous, he saw right through my fucking ruse. Be that as it may, it's irresponsible to send her out on her own. The big city's no place for a princess to wander off without no guide. Honestly, I think you should have a guide too, darling. Wait, the tour skeleton. She has to guide him. It's her job. I think I saw her near the exit gate. You catch her if you hurry. Great, everything's settled then. If it's not the same to you, I'm going indoors. Don't get yourself killed out there, darling. If you're not back in 2 hours with food, I'm eating that fucking cow. Xavier couldn't see the point of arguing with either of them. None of his excuses would work on the cow. Plus, he hadn't seen Skelly in a while. He could probably convince her just to run out and get him breakfast on her own. She was useful like that. Things weren't exactly going as planned, but he could still turn his day around. Of course, when he got to the gate, there was no sign of her. Did she go out and food on her own? Did she go back to the school? He was never sure of her. Why did he trust Lorelei like that? Bitch could barely speak English. You really work on your phrasing, kid. Maybe if you waited, she'd come back. With food. Well, look over the left. Nothing. What if you just stare at eating from the tree? Would anyone notice? Would anyone care? How difficult would it be just take a bite out of bark? Xavier, right there. I'm coming. I'm coming over. Coming over. I'm coming over there. I'm not coming. I'm saying over like we're on a military radio. Just don't move, all right? God is have mercy on my soul. That is to say, she came back from wherever she was. Sorry about the delay. I got tangled in some vines. Princess Loralee said decided to pick you up breakfast, so I'm glad I caught you. Wait a sec. Skelly got something she wants to show you first, but it's something I need to ask first. What the heck are you doing out here? Surf and turf? Surf and turf? Oh, I get it. Loralee's just surfing that Calco was filling up. She was filling up as the turf. Humans are really clever. Did you get a chance to speak with Miss Turf? Is she nice? Do you think we get along? It's been a while since I had any milk. Do you think she'd... Probably not, right? It's not like I need it. I just... Wait, before we continue about the tit milk, I need to tell you the thing. No one's talking about tit milk but you, bonehead. Well, as you know, Skelly slept in this morning. When she got up, Xavier was gone, but someone forgot to close their door. And if the door is open, it's not really a crime. To be honest, it really was just hoping to find human porn. But Skelly found in the box under your bed must be better porn. Box under your... Fucking you didn't. I did, and I saw it all. The baby photos, the present day photos, birthday photos, and best of all, family vacation photos. There he is. It's the senator. You must really love your family to bring such embarrassing photos with you. Xavier didn't seem like the type, but Skelly's been wrong about you before. What is the story here? Why were you guys in Egypt? Did you know they didn't let you see the aliens' homes inside unless it's New Year's, right? Why is Holly not going to see the alien houses? And that tall, gloomy glass of titties, your mom, right? She's cute. Now Skelly knows where you get all your tall from. But there's still one thing Skelly doesn't understand. He knew what she was going to ask. People always asked. Who's the kid? Your brother, stepbrother, cousin? And there it was. He didn't really like discussing this with people. He made an exception for the ghost because, well, she's a ghost and ghosts are terrifying. But because she was also family, so he didn't have to explain it. Maybe to put it simply, she dropped the subject. The truth. The senator. Oh, fuck, he's your dad, your old man. Took her long enough. Wait, how does that even work? Does he have some sort of kidney problem? But wouldn't that account for the kid face, or would it? Do humans' kidneys control aging process? If you remove them, will you live forever? No, that's silly. Or is it? Realizing the fascination discussion about kidneys wouldn't end without input, Xavier told her the truth. That a gang of gypsies cursed his father, I think the preferred nomenclature is Roma. The story's always felt dubious to him, but it was the only explanation he had ever been given. And if monster people exist in Roman games of gypsies out to curse people, wouldn't be that crazy, right? What kind of question is that? Of course it is! Gypsies? What are gypsies? Oh, you don't mean pixies? Pixies are known for putting curses on kids, after all. Wait, does that mean your mom and your dad are actually did the do? Like a real-life penguin dojin? Huh? You're so lucky! How does it make you lucky? Oi, fuck Knuckles. Oh, Knuckle fucks. Oh, here we go. I hope everyone is prepared for the next character. Knuckle fucks? Don't you ever try to run, dumbasses. It's no one escapes retribution. Shit. It's the temptress from the bookstore came to exact her revenge. Xavier couldn't believe it. Why would anybody thought a minor decision would have any consequences other than everyone? Wait a sec. What is that? Yay! That's a dick, right? Definitely a dick. Oh, fuck, it's a dick! She got a dick! What do we do now? Both of you calm down. It's not that weird. Okay, it's a little weird, but there's a reason, no reason to be insulting. Like, are you dumbasses done now or what? It's like totally fucking rude to just scream at someone for no reason, you know? A Valley Girl accent? A Valley Girl accent. Very few things got Xavier's metaphorical engine running like a Valley Girl's accent. Yeah, I think we all screamed out Mr. Come again. Mr. Anahita. But the boobs, are you sure you're not a girl? A girl? Me? Like, as if. I'm totally better than any woman by virtue of being born a man. The tits are just like, you know, whatever. Oh, I get it. You're luring people in with the tits and spring the dick on them. That's super clever. I get these things to fill out of all my totally cute shirts. Did you know how hard it is to find a sweater that looks this good on a flat bitch? Like, seriously impossible. But like, tricking people is totally rad bonus. I wouldn't know anything about that. Every often I used to be Skelly's. Oh fuck, we didn't introduce ourselves. I'm Skelly something something, and this is Xavier. Like a man of few words or some junk. That's like totally rad, bro. Xavier's school, super high school level cool. The two of them continue to make vaguely sexual fangirlish comments about how cool Xavier was. And while it was nice, this detour was cutting into his breakfast time. So he snapped his fingers hoping to get them back on track. Wait! I know this doesn't mean much of anything now, but we're really sorry about the coin thing. At least I think we're sorry. I'm sorry, I can't speak for him. I mean, I could, but it probably shouldn't, right? It was your idea. Sure, I suggested it, but it was a team effort. There was no way someone as uncoordinated as me could have make a throw like that. Tell him, you know how it happened. Look, Skullgirl, Brosif Brostar. Brosif? It's fine, I'm totally over it. The whole thing's like, so 20 minutes ago. As long as you don't piss me off again, you're forgiven for your previous transgressions. Consider it a moment of kindness from your super duper superior, okay? Thanks, I think. Oh! Xavier and I have never met a Tempestus before. Do you think we can ask you a few questions? It's not going to be about my dick, is it? It's absolutely about your dick. Actually, I want to ask you a few questions about that too. Were you born with it? Can you make it disappear? Can you make it bigger? What does a man milk taste like? Well, I'm a dude, so obviously I was born with it. If by disappear you mean tuck it back, then yeah, I can totally do that. Skull's a huge pervert or whatever. For the record, your super duper superior can totally do that shit. And like, how the fuck should I know what it tastes like? But if you're like offering, we could totally go behind that tree over there and find out. What? No, definitely wasn't offering. Pity. Will that be like all? Can I like drink you? Did you like seriously ask me that, Broboat? Well, the answer is like totally affirmative. You can suck a straw in me and drink as much as you want, Brotag. Suck me dry even. Just as long as you let me return to favor one day. That's lewd! Don't say lewd things with a lady present. Of course, we'll have to do it in private. People drinking from me gets like totally worked up, you know. That's still lewd. I can't stand here and listen to this. Like, what's her fucking problem? She was right. That was super lewd. You really shouldn't encourage that type of behavior. Like, this has been totally rad, broski, but like, it's fucking hot out here. I'm going indoors. Bye-bye, cutie pie. Cutie pie? This day was becoming more and more derailed by the second. But it wasn't the end. He could still fix this and get his breakfast. Right? Some music, I guess, goes here. Chapter 1, Act 3, Babes, Breakfast, and Bones, I think. I didn't really... I will step back and say that the first demo of this game ended right when the bulge came, as a hint. But this is demo 2. Yes, you probably would. They were beginning to notice a pattern here. Trying to go out his normal routine, ignoring the quirks of these girls, only resulted in more girls arriving. I should save. It's been a while since I saved. If he kept it up, it would be waist deep in monster girls by the end of the day, and not one of them would wait on him hand and foot. No, he couldn't live with that. He had to stop this pussy parade once and for all. If his normal routine got him into this mess, then surely the opposite would get him out. Treating them like people instead of women. Remembering personal shit they said, listening to their girly problems, trying to help them fix things. A nightmare even without prospect of being eaten alive. But it could have been worse. They were all fairly attractive. Plus, everyone had, but the head girl was stacked, so he had something to look at when he got tired of their chatter. If only he could think about how to get their attention. It had to be meaningful, something they would want to hear. What's up? That's not really meaningful, you know? I doubt they'd even be happy with sup. Hey, Saver, I'm happy you said that. We thought you were gone for good. Never mind. But you're back, so you're fine, right? You didn't get molested by a tree or something out there, right? Is that the producer desk? Wiping the drill from her face, the weird Dullahan girl slowly stood up and hopped over Skelly's side. Actually hopping, as if she was some sort of rabbit. She yawned, shook her head a few times before turning to address him. He couldn't tell if there was a result of lack of sleep or far too much sleep. It's the producer. I'm glad you survived that long, Dust. The whole show would have been pointless without a producer. But if anything happened to him, you would just transform and save him, right? And then I can see all the good bits that colorful sensors covers up? If producer was in trouble, I have no choice but to help Dust. It's my duty as a magical maiden. Ignoring someone in need is just as bad as pulling the trigger, Dust. Even if they aren't your type. Laser cool, really cool, super high school level cool. Quicksilver, get caught in a rape tree or something and she'll be forced to transform and save you. Stop talking about this garbage. That's right, she was still here too. I'm starving my ass over here and you're chatting about fucking rape trees and magical girls. You promised to stay gone until you came back with food. And here you are with my fucking food. I can't, I'm not able to keep accents right. Yeah, but I brought goo titties. That doesn't help our situation at all. Now, brown cow, let's not say things we'll end up regretting. If I could get those goo titties a squeeze, I might just forget about your failure to provide food. Well, that might be a good idea for her, but don't think that helps the rest of us, darling. Now, I'm willing to help with this food situation, but only if you're willing to agree we need to have a discussion. Something about the word discussion was enough to make Anna put down her phone and join the conversation. A conversation that he was all too happy to ignore prior to the word's usage. Like a discussion? No, not like a discussion, a discussion. That's totally what I just said, like a discussion. You're saying like a discussion, not a discussion. Do we really have time for this bit? There's literally always time for this bit, bro. Bropenheimer. Jesus, everyone. Are we done? Can I move on now? What I was trying to discuss is the lack of communication here. I don't know any of you, and if I'm allowed to be honest, I doubt you know each other. We need to sit down and talk, get to know each other, figure out what's doing chores. I'm willing to help with breakfast, but only after we've taken care of this. We're all adults here. It's only fair we try and work together. Getting along's more important than breakfast, isn't it? It wasn't. But it's not as bad as if you had a choice. This silly Q&A was the only thing standing between him and food. Before they get started, the cow insisted they go and get photos. A story without pictures is just a novel, darling. No one's paying money for novels. So everyone ran off to their respective rooms to fetch family photos. Everyone except Xavier, of course. He was hungry, but not hungry enough to humiliate himself with another round trip of who's the blonde kid. Fortunately, they came back shortly after he began considering cooking. Xavier's here before us? Humans really are impressive. Dad, or he just sat here the entire time. You didn't do that, right, darling? Who cares? Who cares? It's Skelly time to shine. Because Skelly's going first in the show and tell. When did we decide? This isn't a show and tell. 5 seconds ago when I said it. Skelly show and tell begins show time. Standing there, time sitting is taking no time to explain her show and tell stance. Skelly begins shoving others onto the cafeteria benches. Her enthusiasm kept her from noticing Lane had fallen asleep again and Anna was still on his phone. Everybody seated? You don't have saying anything, that's okay. The fact that you're seated tells me that you're seated. You're all in good hands because Skelly's going to take you on a journey of a lifetime. The only problem is where to start. The middle, the end, maybe the end, and work our way back to the beginning? I got it, my name. Skelly. I mean, Skelly's the name, and the word talking is my game. Can I try that again? Hi, I'm Skelly. My birthday is October the 20th day. I'm 16, and I live with my father and my twin brother, Scully. Well, technically, I live in the basement. And I haven't left it for 3 years. Why am I bragging about that again? Anyway, coming here was my father's idea. I planned on wasting away in that basement for as long as I could. But I really have nothing. Daughter reflects really bad. But having a do-nothing daughter reflects really badly on him. He's super important at his job, you see. Important how, to a skeleton? Huh? Oh, I don't know. Everyone's always saying he's important. They wouldn't say that if he wasn't, right? Plus, we're always getting this free stuff. Important people get free things. I guess he's not important enough to get away with do-nothing daughter, though. The intricacies of the business world will forever be a mystery to me. But the man gave me life, unlife, so it's only fair that I make an attempt. That's how I should feel about it, right? Honestly, Skelly was just going to hang out in the shopping center until the school year ended. Running into Xavier changed that completely. There's no way I could pass up the chance to sleep under the same roof as such a cool guy. To smell a cool guy, to use the same fork as a cool guy, to catch a glimpse of a cool guy's dick. Skelly has to be super dead to pass that up. Right, my dad? I got a photo right here. Here. This one's kind of old, actually. I thought it would be more of a recent photo, but I guess I didn't. Either way, it's cute, right? I don't know much about the lady in photo. She was long gone before Skelly and I were born. Reborn? Father said met her at a party and saved her life. It's romantic, really romantic. Super high school level romantic. Skelly can't wait to save her future lover from death, even if she has to engineer that fatal situation herself. So, Scully calls her mom, but it's weird to call someone lady you never met mom just because she's married to your dad, right? Right? Wait, speaking of Scully, here. The first day of school, but it's not a normal school studying in paperwork magic show. Actually, now that I think about it, magic school had studying paperwork too. Well, it's expensive, and that's one way it differs from normal school. Oh, have a good... Well, you know what? If you'll wait after a while, I will probably, at the end of the stream, link to the person's, where you can get this demo and a bunch of other stuff. Because there's fun things. But anyways, if you need to, just check the VOD later. I'll probably put in a description of the VOD on YouTube. But if you're going to bed, then have a good night, killers. Isn't it costly to attend this school as well, Des? Yeah, but like 1% of skeletons will ever be attend magic school. I believe that's the case here, sweetheart. Yeah, but you can't learn magic here. I think. Either way, Father pulled some strings, so it was the first real school Scully and I went to. Unfortunately, it was also a boarding school. Something Father conveniently forgot to mention before we got there. Never getting those 2 years of my life back. Feel free to ignore this part if I'm speaking out of turn, but what's with the pink? The hairband? Oh, it's nothing, mates. This Scully's just a contrarian fuck. Father told him not to do anything like that and make him stand out, because he had to live with the guys, And telling Scully not to do something makes it a surefire way to hear absolutely do it. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I will link everything, though. I thought you were going to bed. But yeah, I will try to link everything at the end. He wore it the whole school year, actually. Now that I think about it, I can't remember bothering him because of the hairband. If Skelly did something like that, she would have just been up the sticks without a paddle. But Scully's always been lucky. Except for the cards. He's terrible at card games. Oh, here's one. This one is taken back when Scully had short hair and Skelly had long hair. Why do you think that? It was a terrible idea. Oh, I think it was bed, right? Maybe I'm thinking about the panties thing. Sweetheart, focus. Why were the photos taken? Huh? Oh, I don't remember. I think it might be related to some sort of test. A test? That sounds interesting. It got in the way. It was like wearing 10 hats all the time. You have to fix it, so we went out and all those guys kept hitting on me. Why would they even be like that? She's gone, Des. Tour skeleton? What is this photo? Huh? Oh, that's from this year. Uncle Lulu took me to strip joint he owns here in honor of me getting enrolled here. Uncle Lulu Des? Uncle Luciano, my father's older brother. He's a great guy, super loud but also super great. He's in the pineapple raising business. Why the finger quotes around pineapples raising? He always does that when he talks about his job. It's just a habit. When we were little, for President's Day, he used to stuff thousands of dollars into our armholes. President's Day? Don't you mean Christmas? Why would I mean Christmas? Who's Christmas? Oh, is he your version of Santa? Santa's the most important thing about President's Day. Anyways, if we ever need something Father wouldn't give, let's have it. He was the one to get us for us. But the strip club. We don't need to be here about the strip club. Aw. Well, that's the end of the show part of this Q&A in Stone Tale. Seems like all the photos and everything. Now it's time for the Q&A part. I don't think we agreed to this. Don't be shy, I got nothing to hide. My life's an open book, ask about anything. Why were you digging through my garbage 4 years ago, Des? It was on a Monday. The contents of the garbage was thus and thus. Do we really need to... Wait. Ah, God. I actually confused myself. 1 half-eaten watermelon, Des. Alright, I suppose we do. 2 bottles of that insane clown drink, an old pair of panties with a hole in the front from Vigorous Robin, a bag of my own vomit, sneakers I impulsively bought, a samurai sword replica, and an emu eggshells. In short, it was garbage, nothing of use of anything or anyone, Des. Scully is Skelly's twin brother, yes. Why were you digging through my garbage 4 years ago? Except for that. Asking anything but that. Like, why the fuck did you have a bag of your own vomit? That's super grody, you know. I think Skelly would prefer us to talk about something else. What kind of dairy are you, Des? Huh? Oh! That's an easy one. Meme dairy. Meme is meme is one moment, dairy the next. Why did I say that out loud? Get your shit together, Skelly. Next person, please. Why are your servers so apart? Another one? It's coming back to me. Isn't that the owner of the Lovely Lane upscuff forum on Skeleton, Des? That's starting to feel like character assassination. To a skeleton? Just Skelly is fine, really. Tell us more about this Scully. Would you say he's a better or worse tour guide than you? I'm not a tour guide, stop saying that. But if I were, he'd definitely be worse. The only thing Scully's good at is charming people and getting high. So I've really no wonder why he went into the people-pleasing business. I know I'm gonna regret this, but people-pleasing? Huh? Oh, Scully's a hooker. Well, not exactly hookering. He's not a street corner or something. An escort, that's the term. You rent him from his boss and he does nice boy things for you. Holding your umbrella in the rain, taking you out to eat, going to the movies, boyfriend stuff. You gotta pay extra for lewd, but that's never seemed to be a problem, oddly enough. He's the only one that gets male and female clients. You should be surprised the number of human girls who want a skeleton boyfriend, even for just one night. And that's the image I had to take. That's the image I take for this one. The context. I only saved that because of Peach Saliva, and I had to post that because, oh god. I can't even probably imagine what the appeal of there is. Women are really strange. But everyone speaks highly of him, so I guess he's really good at it. You never suspect he was a lazy bum if you didn't see him at home. Saying it would make him sound like he was be better at tour guide. Hey, this question wasn't about Skelly at all. Oh, it wasn't? That's too bad, isn't it? No, you gotta ask another question. Something about Skelly. Very well. What does a Skelly do for entertainment? Skelly spends most of her time online, saving dojins, bidding on figures, defeating the DIDF, in the comments section, the usual. But most importantly, I am the owner of a certain magical girl image board and forum, and no one in particular. Anyway, me space is not much for me anymore. It's easier to just stay indoors. Forgive me speaking out of turn, but that sounds a bit depressing, sweetheart. It's not. What kind of possibly depressing about typing all days away because you got no other plans? I could think of a few. Like, I think it's my turn now. So, like, what you learn at that magical school of yours, Red? Red? That's cute, cute. I didn't think we were at the nickname stage of friendship yet, but I'm glad we are. I learned lots in magic school. Keeping up with it is the hard part. There's so much concentration and energy involved, and it's just a pain. Skelly keeps it simple: hammer space shirts, eye hole things, recreating keys, picking locks, making water flammable. You know, normal stuff. Scully's the one with all the discipline. He's much better at it than me. Of course, even with his knowledge, he still uses it for goofy party tricks, like spelling words in smoke or bringing up brooms of life. I'm not sure which one of us disappointed Father more, honestly. Did I answer your question? It doesn't feel like it did. Like, you answered that on your own way, and that's like totally better than answering Red. You think so? Skelly makes friends with another cute boy, and quick too. I don't mean to interrupt, but I believe I'm owed a question. Right, go ahead. What do you do for a living, I mean? Oh, I get it. This is part one is supposed to act like a wage slave, is right? I'm a pencil pusher at a small accounting firm. I'm hoping that I keep my head down and never ask questions. My boss will promote me in 20 years. With any luck, another wage slave in my dimly lit bar before my 30th birthday. She won't be able to cook or clean, but getting married to mediocrity is better than being judged by society. We'll engage in missionary sex once a year for the sole purpose of procreation. And if we're lucky, we'll be blessed with future wage slaves. 2.1, to be exact. Any less and I failed, any more I'm a pervert. And I won't even come to resent them at all, as I spend every cent of mine on their frivolous needs, like clothes and medicine and food and college. I don't need nice things. I'm a parent now. And then I'll die with nothing to show for myself but sentimental platitudes. That's funny. You're funny. Yeah, I don't. She doesn't work. She's a neat desu. A neat? Working is for suckers. Does Skelly look like some kind of sucker to you? She don't, because she's not. They say if you work, you lose. You can't really call yourself alive if you're marching to beat someone else's drum. The only drum Skelly marches to is the one that's off. So, a scab. We string people like that back up where I'm from. Back where you're from sounds like shit. Excuse me? Oh, look, it's the Skimnate's turn to task the tour skeleton something. Don't keep us waiting, Skin Ape. Speak. Well, that's my job. Shit. How about that strip club? Skelly knew Xavier couldn't resist the allure of a no-skin club. Xavier really understands what's important in life. If I'm being entirely honest, the atmosphere was too smoky for me. And the girls on stage wouldn't let me touch their ribcage even after I put $50 bill in their panties. But the food was great, and Uncle Lulu flew in a French chef just for ladies' night. I think he might still be there. Probably shouldn't ask Uncle Lulu for more money. Either way, Skelly's more make sure you get into free next time you're in the neighborhood. What's the neighborhood? Xavier was very confused about her living situation. Sure, she lived in the basement, but where? Wait, we'll be here all day if we keep talking about me and me related subjects like this. I should give someone else his turn now, huh? And the person who's speaking currently does get to pick the next one. You're just gonna keep making rules as long as you go, aren't you? Skelly nominates Lane to take over the show and tell. Get up here. Despite Skelly's assignment, Lane made her way to the front of a group of enthusiasm of a man on death row. Or perhaps it was because Skelly's more than obvious excitement. Whatever the case, it was clear that Lan wanted nothing to do with the situation. Lan, my name is Lan. It's Lane. I'm a Dullahan, so my head comes off. Look, there it goes, Des. Great talk. My legs are tired. I'm going to sit down now. Please don't talk to me again. If you sit down, I'll make sure you don't have anything to eat as long as we're here. Shogunai. Lane, my name, Des. You might know me from the series. Skelly would be happy to discuss with you if given the chance. It's true, I will. But if you don't, it's fine. I don't care, not at all, Des. I'm currently unemployed, but I'm receiving residual checks from the aforementioned series. I live with an otaku and his family. It's not really glamorous, Des. I'm 19 and my birthday is April 9th. The only people related to me are my 2 fathers and my 3 brothers, Des. And your mother? Nani? I don't know what. Is your mother named Nani? I have no mother. My father is my mother, Des. What? Huh? Pardon? Shogunai. Father number 1 was a 2-bit crook until his 17th birthday, when Loudhead calling the shots finally removed himself from his neck, Des. With that weight off his shoulders, he could make his way to the family very well and become the greatest overlord he'd ever dreamed of. 3 years later, Des, after his frame his own head, Uncle Number 1 for robbery, Father Number 1 worked his way up from nameless nobody to feared overlord in a surprisingly small amount of time. Someone who even took on the human government and won, Des. But legend has it that anyone with the level of power will always be defeated by a knight of pure heart, the kind of knight that refuses to give into any temptation. Father Number 1 managed to distract all of the knights who planned to destroy him by sending succubi and money their way. All but one. No matter what he threw his way, the knight refused to give up, Des. Frustrated, Father Number 1 decided to take matters into his own hands by pretending to be his own daughter and seducing the knight himself, Des. Okay, speaking out of turn, but why? Nani? Wouldn't it be easier just to have him killed? Why such a convoluted plan? It's just what you gotta do, Des. If you say so. The maiden and the knight became close, but the knight refused to give in to his lust unless they tied the knot. So Father Number 1 married him, Des. And they fucked. And Father Number 1 was pounded with the frustration fuel force of a man who hadn't once masturbated in his 21 years on Earth, Des. I think I have a photo. Mata kudasai. It's okay, we don't need to see it. Speak for yourself, brown cow. Oh. That's it? Disappointing. Nani? Oh, I don't think you have photos of the... Did you think I had photos of the sex, Des? I do. That's quite alright, let's move on. We can't show those right now, game. Unfortunately for Father Number 1, his transformation was more complete than he anticipated. He got knocked up, is what I'm saying, Des. And the knight didn't just push him down in the stairs or throw him into a pit full of knives. Outrageous. No. The knight had fallen in love with the maiden and didn't care that she was an evil overlord in disguise. All he wanted to do was take care of the maiden and their child, Des. Father Number 1 would never admit it, but he had grown fond of the knight as well, so they agreed to take turns raising their children in secret, Des. How cute. I have more photos here. Here's me and Father Number 1 at his house. And here's my brother and the knight, Father the Second. Well, we were visiting the house used in that sitcom about the Dragon Girls. Look how happy, etc. Des. You're kind of speeding through this. Here's me and my older brother, and Father Number 1 at the beach. I'm gonna have to break. I haven't gone back. Too much sand and water and sunlight, Des. That's the last of my photos. He really did rush that. Yes, Father Number 1 just became a girl. Remember, the transformation was complete, and so therefore, real working parts. May I sit down now, Des? No, you gotta answer the question first. Shogunai. Ask away. What was it like working on a show? Which series was your favorite? Did you bring any of your props? You already answered those questions. You already know the answer to those questions, Des. Yeah, but I want to hear you say the words. Shit. It was shit. Sometimes it wasn't shit, Des. Series 4. But I'm also fond of the crossover OVAs, Des. It was exciting to get all those Magic Girls maidens together for one last one. Nothing on the scale has ever been attempted again, Des. but they're difficult to obtain. So very few people have seen them after the original release. Fortunately, I don't have that problem, Des. And they're not props, they're real magical items. I never go anywhere without them, Des. I have a question in the girl in the hobo attire. What's your opinion of the skin-ape Xaver? I believe it was. Nani? What do you have information in the game from? Why do you have the game from this information? I like to assess the competition, yeah? Wasting energy eliminating you if you're not a threat isn't very princess-like. Are you really assessing anything I probably set your goal like that? Hold on. There's no need to eliminate me. I'm not interested, Des. He's not my type. Plus, you've got a shirt with his face on it and pants made of cash in his room. That's just painful, Des. Run that by me again? You mean pants printed to look like money? Chigao. Actually, money pants, Des. The four girls stayed a moment silently, seemingly evaluating Xavier's merits as a potential partner. Anna had hadn't heard about the money pants or didn't care because he kept trying to type away on his phone. Except, as expected for him, only a dude would understand the merits of money pants. Hey, don't you try to make this a gender thing. This is a taste issue. What could possibly be a pill of pants made of cash? I bet it's large bills too, isn't it? I made my decision. Nani? I don't care if the skin ape wishes to drape his legs in money. I'll still allow him to shove his meat stick into any of my holes. He's cute, so Skelly will overlook it too. I suppose it could be worse. He could be wearing no pants at all. Your standards are infuriating low, Des. Someone asked something else. I got many questions, but I'll start with one. What is a magical girl? Are you joking? Afraid not, sweetheart. I see, Des. Magical girls are an embodiment of all things right and just. Without us, the world would be a far worse place, Des. It's our job to protect people like you from evil. Wayward spirit, witches, yokai based on issue of the week, monsters born from the darkness of humans' hearts, and so on. Evil comes in many forms, but it's best not to question it, Des. The important thing is that when we keep you normal people out of harm's way. That's so much I can say without breaking the rules, Des. That's alright, wouldn't get kicked out of your role-playing club. Who's next? Like, I think it's me. Go ahead, Des. Like, were you offered that revival of your short, like, 2 years ago? Like, how come you didn't totally take it? Because it was a reboot. They wanted to change the very core of the show, Des. I was supposed to play a retired magical maiden in a school full of monster students. The series would consist of comedy scenes barely strung together and conversation about food, breasts, and death. So like the show you're on right now? No, this is an idol show. That other show was a slice of life. I don't do slice of life shows. Yeah, she's super from the boonies. Like, if you say so. Producer-san, it's your turn, Des. You still got those sex photos? That fucking face. Producer-san's frankness is amusing, Des. I did bring them with me, but I only have one on my person. Mata kudasai, Des. She rummaged around her hoodie for a moment and pulled out a photo. Wait. Shit. I might have fucked up. I might have to... Given lack of necessary option, I wonder what she was keeping. I'm sorry about this. What button is it? What button is it? What button is it? It isn't display capture. I have to be quick on this if it's game capture, right? Oh no. Yeah, that turned that off. Let's just make sure that this doesn't fuck up. Okay. Ah, shit. Oh, why it took so long to find. Why can't any of these girls just use pockets like normal people? Oh no, that's bad. No, you can't see that. Lewd. Why on earth would anyone take that photo? Father's number one insisted Father the second take it. He wanted the moment where he ruined Father the second immortalized deaths. But it's really all about what he did to break in the fetish he didn't know he had. He insisted on him taking before and after photos every other time too, Des. The whole thing is strange. Photos are archaic. Who masturbates to images anymore? This. He should have had someone record it. He like to have a sex tape like I do. And now it's back. Go away. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I took it off like within a second. You got to see it for a split second. And under Twitch TOS, you can only go through it as rush. Well, it doesn't matter. I did it fast. If I get suspended for a little bit of time, I will get suspended for a little bit of time. But sex tape lanes. What about these sex tapes which you speak of, hobo woman? Lane's sex tapes. Previously recorded video footage of me having sex, Des. Lane's sex tapes. I brought them with me if you'd like to watch them. No, that's quite alright, sweetheart. Fine by me, Des. Has your sex photo just been sated, producer? May I sit down now? Wait, not yet. You gotta pick the next person. Of course. Then I choose the fancy blue ribbon ushi, Des. Fancy? I'm hardly fancy, sweetheart. I see, that's fascinating. Get up here and tell the class so I can sit down. Now up here, I don't know where to start. I'm Clara Raven and Carpenter, not brown cow, not blue ribbon ushi, not blue dress woman, Clara. Clara Vacay or Clara Vacia or Clara Vacay? Yeah, it was part of, yeah. Clara. Klara. Clara. Clara. Era. Cow. Klo. That sounds weird. I'm just gonna spell it with a C. Of course it sounds weird if you pronounce it like K-era. No one says it like that. And why do you randomly put an L in cow? Lord, keep me from slapping the white off of this skeleton. Name nonsense aside, I'm 17 and my birthday is the 4th of July. Fucking patriotism. I live with my family of three, the Carpenters. Mr. and Mrs. Carpenter owns a modest farm, so most of this money comes from that. Mrs. Carpenter also volunteers at the local school. Because I belong to them, it's my job to look after the farm and the son whenever they're around. Excuse me, Clara, was it? Yes, Princess. By belong to them, do you mean to say these people aren't your parents? No, I mean legally I belong to them, like property. Legally. You're a slave. Slave is kind of a loaded term. We really prefer the help. Oh no. Once again, written by a black woman. It's fine. It's fine to sit back and fuck. I know. There's no laws against owning other beings on the surface. Outrageous. Well, there are laws against it, but not in the state I live in. I remember reading about that. Something about a second civil war, right? Yes, but we're really getting sidetracked here. As I was saying, I'm in charge of looking after their son when they aren't home. I have a photo. His name is Claus and he's the cutest thing. He's smart, polite, and incredibly angular. Angular. But I think he might be a little shy. He spends most of his time with me instead of his friends. I can't think of any other reason for him to do so. I think of two big reasons why, Des. What was that? Nothing. Oh, Claire. Scared's got a question. Claire, over here. Suppose I can't ignore it. What is it? If the Carpenters aren't your parents, where are they? Do they live on the farm with you, a family of cow farmers? If I'm allowed to be honest, sweetheart, I haven't the foggiest of clues. Yeah, I know. Ma's a bounty hunter and Dad's a criminal, so she's always chasing after him. The only time I ever seen him in person was the month after my 9th birthday when we went on a road trip. I'm pretty much giving up on seeing them if I ask, but Ma stopped by one night and asked if I wanted to spend time with her. Damn, that's a big-ass waffle. I said yes, and Ma rented an RV and the four of us hit the road. Me, Ma, Dad, and my Ma's brother. And Ma. We're going around and taking pictures in front of the world's largest food items. We got far as the world's largest shrimp before when my mom noticed that one of her bounties lived nearby. She dropped me off at the diner and told me it wouldn't be more than an hour. I sat at the diner for 2 weeks before Mrs. Carpenter came to pick me up. Didn't even get a letter explaining what happened. So to reiterate, no idea where they are or what they're doing, but I hope it's burning in hell. But back to the point. The Carpenters, great people. Whoever the Ravenels does. What? Your name, it's hyphenated. Who are they? Oh, it's just a rich family I used to live with. They practically own the state I live in. One of Mrs. Ravenel's pastimes is buying up child cows and then selling them for twice as much as to local families. She doesn't need the money. So I think it's just a spite-based hobby. But I was one of those cows and she allowed me to keep my name. Why? What? Why'd she let you keep the name? That's weird, right? Skelly can't be the only one that finds it weird. Miss Ravenel was kind enough to give me a job in the milk bar she owns so I can make my own money and help out. The Ravenel family cow works there too. Just a moment, but I brought a drawing. Is he serious gonna pretend Skelly didn't ask that question? This is the best image, isn't the best image, but it's the only one where I had Heidi wearing clothes. The girl on the right is Heidi, the Ravenel's cow. Nice girl, but loud. She doesn't wear nearly enough clothing. We've been close ever since we were little. She much easier to talk than Anime. The girl on the left is Vert, at least that's what she says his name is. Her mother's a cow elf and her dad's an orc. Not sure how that works equipment-wise. She's the one who drew this. Heidi's got the photo, probably because we weren't wearing anything less than the real thing. Vert doesn't talk much, but she's really helpful and she does more than her fair share of work. They were both really sweet girls and I'm hoping they can visit while I'm up here. Clara, a question. Wait, hold on. What is this milk bar? Oh, it's more of a cafe than anything. You can order coffee and pastries, but most folks stop by only for the milk. Because you can pick a girl and a theme, and she'll make you a drink based upon it. From her milk. If you want it directly from the source, you have to, like some kind of pervert, you have to pay extra. Yeah, that was a kitty. I'm just a waitress. I don't do the other thing. I think it's time for questions and whatnot. My life doesn't have nearly as much material as the life of a skeleton or evil overlord's daughter. I go first then. Shimapon or no pon des? What? Oh, Skelly got this one. Okay, Ponsu means panties, and Shimapon is short for Shimaponsu, which, like, she wants to know if you're wearing striped panties or going commando. I said I had it. You were taking like 30 forevers, Red. Oh, okay. I'm assuming no pon means no underwear. That one. That. Outrageous! I see. I didn't respect that. As if controlled by collective consciousness, the rest of the group proceeded to tilt their heads to the left. Presumably in a misguided attempt to verify that Clara was telling the truth about her underwear situation. Of course, her skirt was far too long for that move to work, but since the collective was made of 5 idiots, it's no wonder they didn't notice. Someone's asked someone else so I can pretend y'all aren't doing the thing y'all are doing right now. Wait, before we continue, my head does. It's near your feet. If you could just hand it back to me. Oh, here you go, sweetheart. Tomo des. Oh, skeleton. Clara. Yeah? Those theme drinks and milk bar, do they include flavors? Because I heard from a guy that heard it from the other guy who knew a cow that you people can flavor your milk. Well, that's true, but that costs extra because the girl has to eat whatever it is you want to make the milk taste like. And unless you get lucky and one of those girls already flavored milk is on duty. Cool. That brings Skelly to our next question. Can I have some? No. Huh? It's fine. I'll ask again later. I would prefer if you didn't. But I'm gonna. Princess, do you have a question? How much does a U cost? What? Let's say if I wanted to purchase you, how much would that cost me? I'm not sure. You have to discuss it with my owners. An estimate then. Surely you can guess there must be certain qualities have you that make you worth more than the average cow. Back home, maids are worth more if they still have their virginity or if they're willing to sleep with their masters. In that case here, Clara, do you still have your virginity? Would you like to? Would you sleep with your your young master? I don't think we should be discussing this without my owners. Fair enough. Strangely alluring goop, I believe it's your turn. Like, do you have any social media accounts? Social media? Is that one of those things you do with computers? I don't know nothing about computers, darling. Are you joking? No. We don't have a computer back home. Lucas has one of them smartphones, but I know nothing about those either. I'm really more of a telegram girl. What's a telegram? OMG. That's like so fucking tragic. You are tragic. I'm totally metaphorically leaping, weeping, literally weeping for you over here. I must admit, I'm familiar with this social media as well. Yeah, but like, you live in the seafood aisle. What's Mega Milk's excuse? Mega Milk? This isn't nearly as important as y'all making it sound. It is, Des. A person who is no present online can't be called a person at all. You can't call it living either, Des. A world without wires is nothing. It's worse than nothing. It's hell, Des. The wires? Oh, Skelly knows this one. In Series 2 of Lane's show, the Monsters of the Week were created by the internet, which was known as the wires in the universe. I think we should move on now. It's your turn, darling. Please don't keep me waiting. Are you still a virgin or not? Why are we going back to this? Oh, Skelly gets it. You're embarrassed because we haven't said if we're virgins or not first. That's not really it. Skelly's a super virgin, never kissed anyone before. Much like the skeleton, no man has conquered me yet. Hopefully I won't have to wait much longer. The magical mating code forbids me from having vaginal sex, Des. However, there's no rules about anal sex. Whether or not this makes me a virgin in technical sense is up for debate, Des. As for the guys, Xaver isn't a virgin, it's in the file. Why is that in the file? Who gave out that information? And the goo? Huh? I don't know. Virgin-ish. Like, no one's taken my cherry, and I've had sex with a girl once, but like, it's not like my dick was in her. That raises more questions than it answers, Des. All of our cards are on the table. Clara, it's time for show you your hand, Des. If I get into that, would you stop volunteering personal info at the drop of a hat? Sure. I never done it with anyone. Never been on a date either. Happy? Really? Man, if I had your rack, I'd be on dates every night. Likewise. Nothing's better than eating for free. Or drinking for free, Des. It's not that easy. Finding a guy who has the same values as you is hard. And it's even harder to find one who's interested in anything other than it. With work and helping out, I don't have the time to start looking. I rumbled and cried might here, haven't I? Thank you for listening, but I think I'm going to pass it off to the princess now. Oh yeah, we still have more. Rather than leave, Lori, to her own devices, Clara wheeled the princess in front of the room herself before sitting back down. This should be fun. Unlike the skeleton and Clara, was it? Well, I'm well versed in talking to crowds. It'd be a failure of a princess if I wasn't, of course. There's so many interesting aspects of my life, but I believe I should start with Papa. Papa's truly brilliant person. He's responsible for a human mermaid war that kept us off the surface and you lot out of the water. That was over Japan, wasn't it? Yes, Papa wanted to turn the island of Japan into a swimming pool, and the humans wouldn't let him. But no one but Mama tells Papa what to do, so he went to war. It was a glorious story filled with romance, destruction, suspense, and comedy. Well, I ain't no fucking history book, yeah? So, you just have to hear it from someone else. Back to Papa and his amazing journey. Papa was adopted by my grandma and Papa because Papa's birth parents forgot him after a raid. The whole cat thing was scandalous and the talk of the town for years to come. Imagine a shark rubbing elbows with a fish wearing their clothes, eating their food. The mere notion is outrageous. Papa did his best to fit in, but none of the other kingdoms treated him with any respect. They tried to worry that he harmed Grandmama and Grandpapa in spite of their love for him. And they were right in doing so, because that's exactly what he fucking did. Once Grandmama and Grandpapa were out of the way, Papa was free to seize as much land as he wanted. The average merged person is real shit in the fight, yeah? So it was no problem for someone as brilliant as Papa. Of course, Papa didn't stick to the land. He also took Mama. Took? Yes, he conquered her. He tried to woo her like a normal person, but it wasn't moving fast enough for him. And to make matters worse, her parents were planning on marrying her to some other prince. So he killed his parents, and took her as his own. He took her again and again until she delivered 18 sons and one perfect daughter. That sounds like an awful like rape, sweetheart. Rape? That suggests he has some type of right to not have dicks in her. There aren't any laws keeping a prince from doing whatever he wants to a princess. It can't possibly be rape if it's not illegal. Once again, black woman. It's all kosher. Polite society frowns on it, but people like Papa don't let them stop them. Let's just move on, Des. Tell us more about these 18, really. His sons. Tell us about them. I did, yes. I brought photos. We took them the day before I left. One moment, yeah? She didn't have the homeless person. The princess, in her infinite wisdom, had given the photos to fish servants. Fish servants had fallen asleep and had to be kicked as much as kicking you can do without feet in order to be hand them over. Fucking wasted flesh, the lot of you. Where are we? Right, my wonderful brothers. To my last of his Excalibur, brave and courageous Excalibur, he's the eldest, and he never ever hesitates when he needs things done. Like killing pregnant women and children, they've written poems about his heroics, but he's given a kind of a bossy cunt, yeah? Thinks being first gives him the right to tell us what to do. Eye patch is erudite. He's got a real violent streak, that one. He lost his eye and kept fighting for 2 days, he did. But it's always nicking my sodas. I think he might have a thing for Maris, too. Maris? No crescents! Interrupt and I'll have you fucking drilled, hobo woman. He and Excalibur bicker about which one of them runs the show often. It's fucking stupid. Just put it to a vote, you fucking morons. The one in the back is Ikaval. He never goes anywhere without Excalibur. It'd be cute if he didn't insist on playing with Excalibur's secretary all the time. Excalibur's busy. Excalibur doesn't have time for chit-chat. Setting me with Excalibur if you want to talk and so forth. Who died to make him head bitch in charge of Excalibur's flesh swords? Galentine's on the left. He's a bard. Thousands of occupations at his fingertips, and he chooses to be a bard. We're all very disappointed in him. Caliburn's in the middle. He's a proper sadist, yeah? It's absolutely positively amazing to watch him cut into a helpless broad. He's an artist, but he got some Japron fetish, and he spins all of the conversation talking about how much better than they are than us. He'd be so much more fun if he just kept his mouth shut. Mernier is on the right. He doesn't do much of anything except throw parties. I must give him credit where it's due. He does throw incredible parties, but that's all he's good at. I suppose it's cheaper than hiring someone to do it. Caladana's the nerd wearing the glasses. His family strategist is an avid collector of books. That's all I know about him because they're always locked in the library playing some card game with Kusanagi. The few times we talked, he wouldn't have shut up about it. Speaking of Kusanagi, he's the other nerd holding cards. He was betrothed once, but the girl's family wanted him to change 2 things before they went through with it. Stop spending so much time with Caladanda and stop collecting enemy combatants. He refused to do either of them. Fortunately, Excalibur kept it from getting a massive scandal by sending fire to the girl's home. Excalibur's brilliant, like Papa that way. The brick wall in the back is Claude Floch. That seems like it's one of those Welsh names. He can drain entire barrels of beer and still function. He's amazing. The pile of bandages is Riddle. He's consistently getting sick, so he's not raid material. He's not really anything material. Aside from me, I've never heard him speak to anything but Claude Flitch. They're inseparable, so there's a large series of smut books written about them. I'd be lying if I said I didn't own a few. The one on the left is Svalin. He frequently gets made for a princess, so I dress him in my old clothes and watch him turn down any mini men who ask for his hand in marriage. Occasionally, my other brothers also get drunk enough to forget that he's a boy and related to them. It's fucking hilarious. The winking homo's Clariot. He's obsessed with human things and his fancy of having a human friend. More often than not, he's spending time with this human boy he's stalking. We started calling him Ariel behind his back. Gungnir is that one, not the other two. He smells and I hate him. Sleeping Beauty over there is Durandal. He sleeps for days on end, and it's the only time he's awake is when someone's going on a raid. Then you can't stop him from talking. But when he's awake, you can't get him to shut up, so it'd be easier if he just went to sleep forever. Parachut's the one doing his best to rob Durandal. All he does is steal everything's harder than things. He's such a waste of organs. Sagita is the brat trying to steal my teddy bear. He collects stuffed animals, but his collection is nowhere near as remarkable as mine, so he should go die in a ditch somewhere. Ascalon's the eyesore on the right. He's just a random jealous but he does anything to get people looking at him or talk about him. He's stupid and childish and everyone knows that I'm the most important thing above the water. Under or below water. I believe his only answer is to Lance now, so I don't see him having misfortune of seeing him. I'm starting to run out of steam. And finally, there's Graham. Incredible pop of a woman, but he's more interested in entertaining in his perfect little sister. He's sought out by thousands of women, but he always blows them off. Is he trying to touch your tits? What did I say about questions? But to answer the question, probably. He owns several books about older brothers sleeping with their cute sisters, and once I caught him trying to steal some of my underwear once. He'll do whatever I say, so I'm willing to overlook it, yeah? And that's all of them, all my wonderful brothers. They're such great lads, you must really meet them. The idiot of Collective and Clara couldn't help but notice that her vitriol-filled description of them kind of undermined that claim. Prince, that was an awful lot of information about the Minion family and nothing about you. That's a weird thing to say, yeah? Princess or not, it's customary to introduce the males in your family before yourself. That is a hierarchy in place. Frankly, I'm disgusted that the rest of you didn't do the same. However, I do understand your impatience around Clara. I am the most important woman here, after all. Clara is just Clara. And I'm Princess L'Oreal Angelica Tabitha Serenia Arexia Morgan Diana Genevieve Anderson. My birthday is the 16th of March, and as of last month, I'm officially 15 years old. Oh no. I live in a fucking huge castle with my brilliant papa, weird mama, and 18 brothers, but I've always said that, yeah? And as a princess, my days are spent listening to people tell me how great I am and spending time with other princesses. I think I bought a photo. One moment, yeah? This time she had it on her. Probably couldn't trust the fisherman to take care of it. Here it is, the most important princess and the other 3 lesser mermaid princesses. 3? But there's 4 of the girls there. Haven't you got the eyes and skull tour? There are 3 girls there. 3. Can I introduce the tramp trio now? You're done interrupting, yeah? The redheaded bimbo is my cousin Fortuna. She's a family on my mama's side, and like all my mama's friends, she's disgustingly Sacrian. She's also unbelievably dim-witted. Both of these things have turned her into a veritable mascot of purity. She's the only one with a fan base that rivals my own, and men fall over themselves to spend time with her. My lovely brothers would have conquered her several times over everyone for her brain. We are all 90% certain that she has some mental faculties of a child, and there's just some lines you don't cross. That's the line? Unfortunately, she somehow got into her empty head that we are best friends, so I can't get rid of her. Well, Lane's at least 19. The living forehead is on the left is Belle. As you can see, she's morbidly obese. She's always finished her entire plate like a fat ass she is. Sadly, the camera is incapable of capturing her horrible personality. She's constantly copying me like she doesn't have an original thought of her own. If I didn't know any better, I think she says she's worthy of my spot. Whenever she forgets her place, I just remind her of the brother she's not spending every night with. I'm the reason she's not spending every night with my brothers. That's why that's always shuts her up right quick, right? Lastly, the girl on the far right is Maurice. The worst you can say about her is that she's a tad forgettable. But anyone would look at forgettable next to me and go, you can't really fault her for that. Her kingdom does what Papa tells them to. They're all terrific allies. They respect us so much I'm almost certain they kill themselves in Moss if we ordered them to. Maurice knows the place and gets along wonderfully with my brother, so she's the only one I can stand up to be around. Knows her place. She never speaks up unless I allow her to. She never fights back when I fill her up. She never orders any food when we go out. She never eats. She simply eats whatever I lift. She's as close to perfect as someone who isn't me can get. However, she does have an odd obsession that makes with human items. I'm not fond of that. It makes for awful conversation. But overall, she's the least enraging. That's a tramp trio. Princess, forgive me for speaking out of turn. You do that a lot, yeah? I suppose. But obviously you dislike these girls. Why do you spend time with them? Because I have to. You can't sing the song with just one princess, yeah? The song? Oh, Skelly got this one. There's a song that only mermaids princesses can sing, and it grants a wish. They only sing it if they're in love. That's wrong. Completely wrong. I wish you could see how stupid you look right now. It's adorable. Well, it's true. Only princesses can sing it, love ain't any part of it. And the song doesn't just grant a wish. It's the beast it's summoned does that. Come again? What? You don't know? What happened to Skelly got this one? The song ain't some fairy tale wish upon a star bullshit. It summons a monster from the deep and he's the one that grants the wish. Of course, it's not easy as just singing a song. The first time you sing it at the altar is when you're 10 years old. You and 4 other princesses. You keep singing until one of you screws up and gets sacrificed, which could take weeks. Weeks of singing a song that never ends. No sleep, no food, just you and a looming threat. The girl who weren't chosen to be the beast's bride came back and sang the song at the altar years later. This time the girls picked for outperforming the others who will have whatever wish she was granted. Mama won the last time. Papa forced her to train for months, and when she won, he made her wish for an ever-ending prosperity for his kingdom. That's what kind of brilliant mind my papa is. I'm not sure what I wish for when I win. Maybe a big cake. I suppose it's question time now, yeah? Go ahead, don't keep me waiting. I get asked this because it's killing me. What was up with those maid uniforms? It's the strangest thing. I can't remember. Probably some stupid bet I made with that homo Clarent. Next question. I'll do it, Des. 2 trains leave the station at the same time, one heading west and the other east. The westbound train travels 20 miles per hour, slower than the eastbound train does. If 2 trains are 900 miles apart after 5 hours, why is Maria the worst girl? Marie. Damn it, Lane. Next question. Wait, Des. Next question. I suppose that means me. You can't just ignore that. Your outfit. You're aware that people usually wear underwear under something, aren't you? What an outrageous question. My dear, sweet, stupid cow. Underwear is a garment like any other. The only reason we conceal it is that it becomes taboo. When we spend time picking out the right pair, and for what? To hide them so boys won't look. They only want to see them because we label them as obscene. Boys don't flip up your skirt to see your panties because they love panties. They do it because they're hidden. By putting them on display, I've eliminated the need to look. Freeing our panties is the first step to garment equality. She's right. Skelly's gonna free her panties to get rid of the skirt. Don't, Des. Xavier had to hand it to her. He couldn't find a flaw with that logic. Not that he really tried, mind you. Everyone doing things her way meant more panties for him to look at. Well, I reckon that's one way of doing things. I believe it's the goo person's turn, yeah? Nah, pass. Pass? Pass, bitch, pass. Like, can't you see I'm on my phone? Very well, Skin Ape, question now. You know how to cook? If you must know, the answer is yes. Mama refuses to cook anything that was suffered during the cooking process. But that's the best part. What's the point of eating anything if you can't think how much pain it was in? Thankfully, Cattle Felch was more than willing to help me catch, cook, kill, and cook my own meals. Mama isn't capable of producing enough food to sate him, so he had to fend himself since he was 10. We even built our own club around it, an exclusive club or two, with fancy hats and jewelry. Despite my proficiency, I feel I might have some difficulty catching anything in this chair. But if the skin ache keeps kitchen stock like a man should, I should be willing to make more than willing to make your food, yeah? But only you. The rest of them can starve for all I care. Still in the room? Of course you are. It wouldn't make sense for me to say something like that if you weren't. As expected of her. I hate to disappoint you all, but I can no longer talk about myself. All this effort has completely tired me out, yeah? But if you didn't do anything. Completely tired. That means it's uncouth Goo's turn, yeah? Don't keep us waiting, Goo. With assistance for Clara, the princess rolled her way back to the spot. So the idiot collective and Clara waited for Anahita. And waited. And waited. It became painfully obvious that Anahita was far too busy with his phone to care about his surroundings. And if Xavier hadn't left his phone in his room, he could have texted him. Dude, bro, the tits wants you to talk about some shit or some shit, bro, he typed with no trace of irony. And Anahita would reply with loss. Sorry, bro, text on something equally vapid. I don't know, I'm not an expert in bimbo speak. Texting him certainly kept Skelly from doing, hey, give me that phone. And that. Before Anna could protest, Skelly yanked the phone out of his hands and made her way to the opposite side of the room. Oddly enough, he didn't go after her. He just sat there filing his nails. Nails he didn't have. With a nail filer that didn't exist. Oh, he's on that microblogging site. Let's see. Yeah. We should probably just skip this one. Let's see if we got Anna. He's some asshole just threw a bunch of chocolate coins at me. What the shit? Skelly, we can't see it. Read it aloud for us, sweetheart. Oh, some asshole just threw a bunch of chocolate coins at me. What the shit? Chocolate coins? Moving on. Finally made it to school. Gonna do my best to forget about the bookstore. Oh, what were you doing there anyways? You didn't really seem like the type. Look, looking for a super popular book I wrote. You wrote a, yeah, like, yes, I, like, wrote a book, read. Never would have guessed this. I am a man of many talents. Did you find it? No, because somebody adjacent threw fucking chocolate coins at me. Okay, right, next post. Oh. Skelly? I'm doing it. On second thought, I'll do it, Des. One capital A, another capital A, and a third capital A, a fourth capital A, a fifth capital A, a sixth capital A, a eighth, a ninth, all capital A's. The coin fuckers, they're here. Why me? What did I do to deserve this bullshit? Are you fucking autistic? Read it like a normal person. The coin fuckers, they're here. Why me? What did I do to deserve this bullshit? The coin fuckers are you and producer, correct? Maybe. Change the page. This. Skeleton's loud. You are very loud. But the dude's kind of cute. I feel like I should totally suck his dick. You read it. I can't. Des. I feel like I should totally suck his dick. Stop that. I'm totally gonna suck his dick. Flower emoticon. Ah. Outrageous. Oh my. It was that moment during the girlies giggle session that Xavier decided to look over at Anna. Unsurprisingly, he seemed embarrassed. He's capable of embarrassment? In that outfit? He must have forgotten that he wrote that message. A few seconds passed before they made eye contact, something that the girls would have loved if they weren't too busy giggling to notice. His mouth said nothing, but his eyes said like, bro, I'm totally dying here. Just fucking kill me, bro. Instead of granting the goo his quick death, Xavier gave him no point and wink combo. Haha. An act that resulted in Anna turning back a nice shade of purple before breaking off eye contact. It was really nice shade of purple. The kind of purple Xavier would paint his Chimera if he knew what it was called. Why do you think about your car at a time like this? Wait, there's more! Like, I told him it was cool, but probably gonna murder them in sleep. Maybe a hammer? Like, what do you guys think? I want to talk about this one in a bit, because then that's a reference to. I think all of these are reference to people who like the creator knew online. So, but this one I specifically know, but I won't talk about it. You're not still planning on doing that, right? I wasn't. Like, now, I'm not sure. Sure. Holy shit, Lane's here. I thought she was dead. Why isn't she dead? Of course, I'm not dead. Why would I be dead, Des? You're an insane child actor who hasn't done anything for years. Like, why wouldn't you be dead? Skelly, stop laughing. It's not funny. We probably should skip this one. The skeleton owns that shitty land board has already buying up Lane's old panties. Wait, Des, the skeleton, yeah. Is this why you were in my garbage, Des? Hey, look, another post. The titty cow just admitted she doesn't wear under. Don't you mean admitted? Red, only faggy losing nerds give a shit about spelling right 100% of the time on the internet. You're not one of those nerds, are you? No, Skelly's cool, super cool. The titty cow just admitted she doesn't wear underwear. Cute W smile emoticon. Don't go broadcasting that all over the World Wide Webs. Interwebs? I posted that like 60 forevers ago. It doesn't like matter now. It says an hour ago right here. Like I said, 60 forevers ago. The first one is under his old name was Laltaku, the guy who used to like make fun of Kotaku stuff. Nowadays he goes by Mr. Phil. And I don't know most of the other ones. I think that's the last of them. So could you like totally hand me my phone back now? And the reason why is because Mr. Phil was like friends with the creator of this as well, at least when they were on Tumblr. And like the biggest, his favorite was Anna. So obviously they put him as first. Wait, there are photos. Don't keep us waiting until Skelly. Yep. Skelly made her way back to the table and placed the phone on it. Presumably, she wouldn't have described the photos. And he did continue to pretend that didn't bother him by filing his non-existent nails on an invisible knob file. Oh boy, here's the first one. There's no nipples, so it's okay. That's an awful lot of skin showing. Oh fuck, I remember that trip. Some dinky mom and pop outdoor sauna place wanted me to stay over for publicity. Outdoor Onesan? You mean onsen, right? Yeah, that shit. They were 2 weeks away from going out of business before I endorsed the place and turned it all around. I wrote a few nice words on my blog and took photos and made some videos in business that had been booming ever since. But like, they totally didn't have Wi-Fi, so it's really no wonder why they're having problems. Oh, here's another. You're really not big on clothing, are you? I took this one to commemorate the purchase of my 35th phone. Well, like, I didn't purchase it. It was a gift from my fan club, but it's like same diff, right? Why in God's name do you need so many phones? Like, I don't know. How does anyone decide why they need anything? Like, what am I, an 18th century German philosopher? I suppose not, no. Oh, here's another one. Another photo, I presume. You presume correctly, Tuna Melt. I don't remember which number this was, but it came from nurses' uniform, so I figured I could totally throw them a boner or whatever. Hey, a video. I bet it's interesting. I'd rather not, sweetheart. Too late, I already clicked it. Oh, she was right about one thing. It was a video. A 9-area long video of Anna sleeping. Comments across could only be his fan club scrolled across the stream. Good night, so cute. Sleepy times. Oh my god, so cute. Wake up. Lol, I hope Anna-chan doesn't snore. Nice boobs. Hush, Anna-chan sleeps. That feel when Anna-chan will never cuddle you. IRL. Sad face, sad face, sad face. Just watching is enough for me. Because I know Anna-chan loves us, lol. But still not nice recto. There was similar videos on the side. Anna making breakfast. Anna goes to the store. Anna takes the train. The list went on and on. Wait. The microballing. The phones. This video. I know who you are. You're Galaxy Anna-chan des. After snatching his phone out of Skelly's hand, Anahita finally made his way to the front of the room. Took him long enough. About time you figured it out, washboard. I was going to wait till later, but I guess it's good now as time is eating. Like, Magical Girl Washboard is totally correct about the fact that I'm totally super mega popular net idol Galaxy and Angel Anna-chan. Anna's enthusiastic reveal didn't get quite the response he was hoping for. Instead of applause and worship, he was met with silence. Silence and some mumblings from Lang. I expect that from the fish and tits, but what's your excuse, Fred? I thought you were like, cool and junk. I am cool. Skelly's super cool. I'm not sure if you help you explain what a net idol actually is, darling. Bitch, like, that ain't my job. Magical Maiden Washboard can handle it. He's an internet idol. An internet celebrity in layman's terms, Des. A cute girl for lonely men to fawn over. Specifically, a life idol. Which means he's part of the problem, Des. Life idol? Skelly knows this one. Life idols record themselves doing various tasks so the losers on the other side feel like they got girlfriend. Also known as part of the problem. That's right, Red. But unlike those other sluts, I talk with my chat in real time. It's amazing how many people you can get to worship you by being polite, and cute, and perfect, and smart, and hobo woman, I noticed you used the word he. Am I supposed to believe that thing is a man? This thing? Like, you don't have to believe anything, but I'm like totally a dude. Don't know what gave you the idea that I'm not. Probably the breast, Des. I see. And if you were to lay children with another man, could you bear his child? Like, I guess? It'd be like total metaphorical pain in my dick, but I could. Well, this is just fucking unfair, huh? If men can have tits and give birth, what's the point of having women? OMG, I ask myself like all the time. If you ever figure out the answer, let me know, okay? Gender nonsense aside, I don't see any family photos on that phone of yours, darling. Like, gasp, family photos? Like, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious? Why the fuck would I bring family photos? What am I, the middle-aged woman named Tammy who volunteers at the PTA? No, I suppose not. Wait, no more questions. You didn't introduce yourself first. Like, hold your horses, Red. I'm totally getting to it. Name's Anahita, which is like, duh at this point, right? I'm 17 and my birthday's April 2nd. I got no siblings, but I got a collection of dolls made in my image, and that's close enough, And I totally live on my own, unlike the rest of you sluts. Like, I think that's all. So feel free to start the super cute Q&A at any time. Me first, would you kiss a washed-up actress? For science, Des. Kissing girls? What am I, some kind of homo? No, I don't kiss girls because that's like super gay and junk. And if there's like not a woman alive worthy of my attention, except for you, Red, I'd kiss you all over. You cute little corpse. Something about this flattery turned Skeleton from her Skelly from a usually annoying chip herself into a blushing, giggling mess. A response that only encouraged Anahita to continue his verbal molestation. The whole thing was giving Xavier terrible ideas. Terrible ideas that I, quite frankly, am not equipped to describe. I do not have the spoons, and I just won't. May if I interrupt. Whatever. What are you doing here? Not to be rude, but you hardly seem like the school type. Does Scuba Man with a letter visit you as well? Wait, you got a letter? Skelly also got a letter. I was going to let Scully go into my place, but since it was addressed to me, Father wouldn't allow it. I got a letter as well, Des. Xavier got a letter too. He left it in his room. Skelly got it now. So did I. Like, really? I didn't get any stupid letter. But it's totally a non-issue, because I'm here regardless. Yes, but why? Doesn't matter. I'm like here for whatever, and you can't get rid of me. I suppose. If you're finished, I believe it's my turn. What drives a man to place exquisite breasts on his man chest? Didn't you just like totally answer your own question? But if I can't be totally for serious, I'm the type of guy I'm into isn't interested in manly dudes or flat chicks or dudes that look like flat chicks. He wants something that looks like a stacked girl so he can get away with showing it off to his bros, Oh, guys like Xavier. What? I didn't say that. Totally didn't. I totally didn't. I see. I have all I need. Thank you. Skinape, do you have a question? Hey, it's my turn now, Which season of Lane's show was your favorite? Rather than answering, Skelly with simple no, he laughed. He laughed uninterrupted for 5 minutes. It was the kind of piercing laugh you expect to hear in discussing about dick sizes, not television. Like, why would I ever bother with that shit? First of all, it was totally before I existed. It's super ancient. Fucking show's old enough to vote, you know? That's like unbelievably gross. And second, there's no cute girls. If I only watch stuff filled with cute girls doing cute girl things, idle, slice of life, harem shows where everybody's half naked for tenuous plot reasons, the good kind of shows, you know? Zava got a feeling that Anna's comments were an attempt to annoy Elaine. Given that she had broken off a chunk of the table in her anger, it was working. Does that, answer your question, Red? Yeah, I guess. Now, I think this means it's Ava's turn now. You gonna cry, six? You know what? Middle option. Really? Of course not. What is a little titty touching between trusted friends? A bout of motorboating between bros? An occasional price between pals? You get what I'm saying here, dude. You got it. Everyone in the room got it. Everyone outside the room got it too. In the entire history of speech, nothing has ever been more gotten than those 3 sentences. Don't you ever worry about it. Just do it. That's what bros are for, you know. You should do it, Des. Do it now. Skelly's gonna second that. I must admit, I'm curious about it too, but can we all agree that's best saved for later, yeah? Right, because breakfast! Another time, Des. I don't remember Senpai Useless had any say in this. While I would totally love to talk about me forever and ever, I think I'm gonna stop now. Partly because I'm so bored and because I'm mostly totally starving. This is the part where Mega Mill makes his breakfast, right? Wait, it's Xaver's turn! Move, see how he's got photos. Xavier should have known Skelly wouldn't let him get away without asking questions. Everything he knew about her pointed to this outcome, but like a fool, he had hope. I'm sorry, Skelly has photos? Yep. Xavier left the door unlocked and told Doofus, so Skelly had to look around and found some photos. Well, it didn't quite like that. First I went looking for underwear and porn, but the drawers were all locked. Then I ate a bag of candy in the mini fridge. Then I got annoyed because he had the mini fridge and I don't. And then I got distracted by this ticking noise. At first I thought it had been a clock, but it wasn't. I searched all over and didn't have any luck finding it. That's weird, right? Then I took a 5-minute nap on the floor. But after all of that, I looked on his bed and found a box of family photos. Look. Super cute, right? His mom's a duchess, that's am I right? He doesn't look like royalty at all. And get this kid is his dad, and his dad is Senator Loveless. Hey, you know that already. It's might hard to forget the face of a man who wants you and everyone like you dead, sweetheart. I've never seen this man before, but even I knew the name. Everyone knows Des. Well, I didn't know. That's because you're like a totally space case, Red. Am not. Look at this photo. I can't help but wonder something. You're trying to figure out how they fuck, aren't you, Mega Milk? well, you're not alone, Des. Isn't it obvious? They do it like a kid and a MILF in a Tsundere Nana Fushi set. Tsunda, as expected, the stupid debate about how these two people ever had sex broke out. Truth be told, Zephyr had no idea how they did it either. In fact, the only reason he knew they did it at all was because his mom was drunkenly described it to him when he was 10. He did his best to block it out, but so the only thing he remembered was something about a broken bottle and heart squeezing. The conversation was weird and uncomfortable, so he cleared his throat obnoxiously until they stopped talking. Right, sorry. Here's another one. This one confuses Skelly a bit. Xavier grew up in a human-only zone, right? So what's this demon doing here? Demon? No, that wasn't right. That wasn't demon. It was just... Oh no. Rim's not a demon. He's just a Native American. Come again. Nani? Pardon? I'm sorry, are you saying you think Indians are literally red, darling? Weren't they literally red? Isn't that why they call them Redskins? Have I told you I hate you recently? No, well, I do. How do you even come to that conclusion, Des? Not wanting to want this to turn into another 10 minutes of speculation, Xavier told them the story he had already been told, that the senator became Rem's legal guardian when his parents gave him up in exchange for angel dust. He was starting to think this last bit was more literal than the senator let on. The arrangement sounds strange before saying it in loud, but he'd never thought about it before. But why would he? Rem was always there. He was there to take the fall when Xavier crashed his boat into that tree. He was there when he met his first two girlfriends. He was there to buy him beer when he legally couldn't. Rem was his brother, and it didn't make any sense to question why his brother didn't look like him or anyone else he knew for that matter. Ah, so he's brother. That's really cute, really cute. But like, why would a total dick monster like Senator Shota even raise a demon kid? People that age have been all kinds of plans, and you can't even begin to comprehend, darling. You'd think of that, but like, no. Whatever the reason, it's cute, cute. I have no doubt that his senator plan of some sort does. Try and find out next time you talk to him, producer. Xavier had no intention of doing that, but not all the same. And with that, a personal Q&A had come to a close. It all went well. The curtains would open on breakfast next. And as on cue, Clara took her place back on the metaphorical stage. Look at all that. We share a little bit of ourselves, and we're still standing. We would have been standing much longer if you didn't provide us food, Clara. Of course, Prince, I apologize for prolonging your suffering. Wait! One second. I got an idea. Oh, this will be rich. Clara just got here, right? What kind of question is that? You know I did. Right. Which means it's unfair to make her cook breakfast for us. I propose we all pull straws for it. And the loser has to make breakfast in nothing but an apron. All in favor? Well, I can't say I'm a fan of the naked part, but why would have nice change pace of my cook for change? Sure, Skeleton, you had me at naked. Like, OMG, that's totally what I was going to say. Similarly, Skelly had Xavier at breakfast, so he gave her a thumbs up, a gesture she was more than happy to fawn over. No, it's... He's not. It's just how that played out. Resorting to fan service this early doesn't bode well for the introduction of this show, but I'm too hungry to fight it, Des, and part of me does appreciate the luck-based challenge. Then it's unanimous. Who's going to be in charge of the straws? I'll do it, given that I'm here, trustworthy person here. Like, how come you come to that conclusion, Mega Milk? I already agreed to cook for y'all, so I got no reason to fix things in my favor. I guess that holds up. Taking Skelly's words and his disputed statements, something she hadn't done prior to the point, Clara left to retrieve the straws, leaving the idiot collective to do their individual idiot activities. Once again. For Anna, this means returning to his phone to make blog posts or text or whatever, or take vain photos, whatever airheaded pseudo women do. The princess had decided her time was best spent asking Anna increasingly invasive questions about his equipment. Going back to sleep was Lane's own course of action, and Skelly handed him back his sunglasses. He had been so preoccupied with everything he had forgotten he brought them with him. I think they must have fallen up when he grabbed my arms back then. Skelly didn't definitely steal them and wear them when you weren't looking. That's convincing. Before he could poke at the obvious holes in the story, Clara returned. Taking a seat at the table, she explained that one of the straws was slightly shorter than the other. She was quickly interrupted by Anna exclaiming that literally everything in the history of literally everything knew how this worked. A sentiment the rest of the Indian collective shared. With nothing else standing in the way, it was time to draw straws. Skelly went first. Despite advocating the vote, her handshaking suggests she was having second thoughts. Fortunately for her, she drew a normal straw. In her excitement, she jumped up on one of the 3 tables and began dancing. Next up, Anahita. He attempted to appear indifferent by continuing to text, but much like Skelly, his shaking hand belayed his act. Normal straw. He joined Skelly on the table. Lan took her time waking up to make a choice. Her hand hovered 3 different straws before choosing one as it might. Her body couldn't agree upon it. Short straw. Rather than accept her defeat gracefully, Lane pretended to fall back to sleep. A stunt absolutely no one fell for. It only took Skelly half a minute to drag Lane off the table bench and into front of the room. I don't know how to cook this. Should have agreed to that before you agreed to the vote, no tits. Ah, you're right. Sugar Nye. With all the enthusiasm of a person being sent to an electric chair, Lane made her way to the kitchen, mumbling an argument to herself the entire time. If wondering anyone else, Xavier might have been concerned, but Lane was queen crazy in the land of crazy. As expected, things only got weirder when she entered the kitchen. Silence. Complete silence. No running water, no cabinets opening, no muttering in butcher Japanese, nothing. After 20 minutes of strained silence, Skelly just is able to go check on Lane. It wasn't much of a gesture, it was loudly proclaiming that someone should take the kitchen just in case Lane committed Sudoku in there. No one, Skelly involved, moved from their seats. He would have saved Lane from a burning house at this point if it meant get something to eat. Much to his surprise, there was no huge problem in the kitchen. Just a huge ass. I guess it makes sense from pathetic if she was flat in front and the back. That is to say, a natural pose straight out of some no-budget eroge. As expected of the resident weeb. Before Xavier could comment on it, she spoke up. Producer, didn't expect you to see so soon. Did you need something, Des? I know what you're thinking. What's with such a weird pose? It's simple, Des. Idol shows need fan service to survive. A 10-minute apron scene is nothing if it allows us to get a second season. Of course. She couldn't just do tasks given to her. She had to turn into some sort of anime thing. Still, it was a nice view. He couldn't complain about that. Are you two okay there? I'm sorry to think you committed Sudoku along with the... fuck. Why are you yelling? Is someone hurt? Oh, my goodness. Outrageous. No wonder why this flat hobo is so popular. Goo person, take a photo with your square phone. On it. I heard rumors about it, but I never believed it could be really that big. I'm sorry, but is that money on her lady business? Holy shit, you're right. Like, totally desperate, you know. Maybe she got herself all worked up and sticking in there because she worked up, because she got worked up, and because she got bored. I think we get a sleep on. She was getting off in here. Can we get picked up at a later date, Des? Preferably neither. All of this telling was interfering with my cooking, Des. How a simple conversation kept her from being her job was beyond Clara and the collective, but they knew all better than to ask. Shortly after Clara and the collective returned to the cafeteria, Lane into her 5 plates of food on the trolley. The reason was she used this instead of carrying the plates herself became obvious when she placed them on the table. What am I looking at? Dragon meat, Des. There was dragon meat in the kitchen? I was surprised as well. Finding outside of the fairy realm is impossible, Des. The last time it was available here was 2 years ago. It's almost as if they got in an event because they knew I'd be here, Des. That's weird. Why would they do that? Do they really have a choice? The last thing you want to do anger an overlord's daughter, after all. Oh, they realized that she was a celebrity and she could end up one of those gossip mags. Yeah, that must be it. While Clara and duo try to figure out why their breakfast savor Lori and Anna stuffed their stupid faces with it. Why you eating anything made of that mental patient is made by the mental patient is beyond me. Much surprised when 3 morons who bother eat, it wasn't terrible. One could even say it was tough, like it was totally perfect and junk. Wait. May 64? I know it doesn't say mega, so I was wondering what that says. OMG, this is like totally perfect and junk. Like, I thought you said they couldn't cook no tits. I can't this. That's obviously a fucking lie. Oh, you're one of those. Someone is so desperate for dicks, you put down anything, put down all of accomplishment for any tiny amount of praise. Oh, this is nothing. It's awful. I threw it together in 5 minutes. Fucking gross. Why don't you go die in a puddle of your own vomit already, has-been-chan? If you keep saying things like that, Des, I'm not sure if I can stop myself from becoming, how do I say this? Wet, Des. Hearing Len says the word wet has made me a little wet, honestly. Wet? Why is this wet? Could y'all just stop saying wet? But I really can't cook. This food appeared on its own, hobo woman. Is that it? It's not that, Des. It's just... It's not important. Nothing you say ever is. You just hadn't said one thing worth listening to the entire time I've known you. But you can cook, hobo woman, so I'll make an attempt to learn your name eventually, yeah? It's much better than I was expecting from you, but I think you might have just made a little bit too much, sweetheart. I'm used to cooking for 6, Des. I've said too much. Anytime you speak is too much. Die already. Assuming her work was done, Lane took a place next to Skelly and tipped to fall back to sleep. Something that would prove easier said than done since Skelly was trying to grope her. Clara, if you're not going to finish your meal, I like more than willing to take it off your hands. Bitch, you're not the only one who wants that meat. You can't just, like, totally claim it in junk. This was apparent sentiment that Xavier shared because he stuck his fork in Clara's food and glared at Lori. None of one of them waited for Clara to respond before fighting over her breakfast. They also didn't notice that Skelly hadn't touched her meal because she was far too busy touching Lane, and they couldn't easily share hers, which really shouldn't be expected of idiots of that caliber. With breakfast finally over, it was time to clean up. Clara offered to split the mess if someone was willing to help. Naturally, everybody scattered. Lane went out the window, mumbling about business the entire time. The rest of the collective made their way out of the room, making each of excuse why they couldn't stay, leaving Clara to sigh and clean up by herself. But what would Xavier do? Fuck. What's the button? I think this is where I'm gonna stop. If you want to see, hold on, I'm gonna this. Quit. I think that's more than enough. The demo 2 is actually really long. Let's see if I can go find everything. Doop, doop. Doo, doo, doo. Is that the one or is it this one? Yep, here we go. If you want to try to see the demo of this, here's the link at the itch.io page for this. It will give you the writer's Twitter, the artist's Twitter, and there's also Goo Twitter, which they did make a Twitter account for Anna. So if you want to follow the Goo's Twitter to see, Goo shit, there you go. But there's at least a link to the main page. And then I know this is a Tumblr, but the writer is mostly on Tumblr these days. But Lolita Heartless Stuff is the one who wrote this. She's actually really cool. She's also a Christmas cake, so. But yeah, check those out. I probably won't stream this again until like the full game comes out, and even then a Steam version. Yes, she's cake. At least that's what she was since the last time I checked up on her. But yeah, I at least give those out just so you can see them, check them out. I'll probably also post the links in the VOD as well. Anyways, thanks for coming out. Tomorrow will be 13 Sentinels. Then more Control, and then we'll finish up Jak and Daxter on Wednesday. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for coming out. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night. This was a really nice little Valentine's Day special of me playing a game that I'm not sure that Twitch will suspend me on. I need to go download and export this right away, probably before Twitch finds out. So good night.